ready to go, in position. Arsenal with the red shirts, the white sleeves. There's the whistle from Sam Barrett, the referee, and it's Manchester United in their dark blue kit with the white trim who get us underway. The ball played back to Harry Maguire, who returns to the Manchester United starting lineup tonight, and a huge ovation after the still relatively new club song is roared out by all Arsenal people. And Arsenal in the first half are playing from left to right as we look at it here from our low commentary position behind the two coaching areas. Manchester United breaking away down the left-hand side with Garnacho, who then, actually, in trying to turn it back, runs it out of play. Martin Odegaard was with him, is he? And Martin Odegaard there saying to the crowd, come on, keep it going, raising his arms.
Yeah, there's been a really, really intense atmosphere. Because of that song, North London Forever, just drifting into the opening seconds of the game, and Odegaard is capturing that and keeping it, and the atmosphere is absolutely electric.
Yeah, do you know what? Say it quietly, I've actually come round to North London Forever. I quite like it now. Here's Martinelli over on the far side. In comes the challenge, out of play. So the Arsenal team tonight, 4 changes for them. There is no Gabriel and no Calafiori. So I think this is really interesting that it's Zinchenko and Kivior who are on the left side of the defence. But Raya in goal, Timber and Saliba, the other members of the back four. Partey, Odegaard and Rice. Then Saka, Martinelli and Havertz. So Jorginho and Trossard among the substitutes, as is Merino as well tonight, who's returning from injury. And Manchester United, he's gone and made 6 changes again, Ruben Amorim. So Rashford, Xerxes, Casemiro, Amad Diallo, all on the substitutes bench, and Martinez and Menu are both suspended for this match after their 5 yellow cards. So the team that is out there right now, Onana in goal, and then the 3 central defenders, Maguire's in the middle, De Ligt on the right, and Mazraoui's actually on the left-hand side of the back 3. Dalot and Malacia are the wing-backs. It's Malacia's first Premier League start since coming back from his mammoth 17-month layoff. So United very happy to see him back in the picture, particularly with Luke Shaw out injured again. Bruno Fernandes and Ugarte, Mount and Garnacho, and Rasmus Højlund through the middle. So stirring atmosphere. Martin Odegaard has helped to whip it up, and here's Zinchenko has stepped into the midfield position. Left-footed crossfield pass is headed infield by Malacia. Stretch from Mazraoui. Then here's Bruno Fernandes. I can clearly see his rainbow captain's armband on. Bruno Fernandes steps into the way of Odegaard, and Manchester United have got it back in central defence. So Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. Let's go back to Manchester City, who got the early-ish goal with you, John Bennett, against Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, they're playing some good football as well. Manchester City 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Bernardo Silva with the early tap-in. Kevin De Bruyne whips in a shot from inside the box to make it 2-0. But just before that, Chris Wood missed a great chance for Nottingham Forest. Half-time, Man City 2, Nottingham Forest 0.
So 2-0 to Manchester City as the ball is into the penalty area. Chance for Arsenal! But the offside flag is up, driven in by Martinelli. I think he knew it. I think they knew it. And I think the crowd mostly knew it as well. It's a free kick to Manchester United.
Yeah, high pressure from Arsenal. And Onana just plays it straight to Arsenal. Havertz is in an offside position. He sets it to Martinelli, who taps it into an empty net, but absolutely offside. Yeah,
clearly Havertz in an offside position. And everyone knew the flag was going to go up, which it did. So Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. BBC Radio 5 live. Also BBC Sounds if you're on the move tonight. It's going to be very busy over the course of the next 3/4 of an hour or so. Manchester United coming forward down the right-hand side. They go back to the halfway line, so we will go back to Gary Flintoff at St James's Park, watching the leaders losing.
Half-time, Newcastle 1, Liverpool 0. The home side have been the better side. Alexander Isak with a goal 10 minutes from the half-time whistle. 3 Liverpool players in the book. Arne Slot looking confused. Newcastle 1, Liverpool 0.
Matches in League 1 tonight as well. Still Birmingham 1, Stockport 0, Peterborough 0, Burton 0, Shrewsbury 1, Blackpool 0. And the 2 matches in League 2, Bromley 0, Gillingham 0, and Fleetwood 0, Doncaster 1. And also Manchester United with the ball in their own penalty area, played back to Onana, who clears it long to the halfway line. Højlund, and then Mason Mount is tripped by Partey, and it's a free kick to Manchester United on the halfway line. In fact, we're going to go to St Andrews. Sani Rudravajala.
Birmingham have got a second goal here. It's Birmingham 2, Stockport 0. Really good work by Keshi Anderson, and Alfie Mathers out there to side foot for his second of the evening. Birmingham 2, Stockport 0.
Dundee 1, Motherwell 1. Motherwell have equalised in one of 3 matches in the Premiership tonight. Still Rangers 0, Kilmarnock 0, and Aberdeen 0, Celtic 0 will be making regular visits to Pittodrie as well. But Manchester United with it on the right hand side. The ball is angled back and all the way back to De Ligt, and here is Harry Maguire to his left to Mazraoui, who picks out the pass to Malacia. Now Garnacho, and then Garnacho plays it back to the centre circle. Izzy Christiansen alongside us here at the Emirates Stadium, former Manchester City and Everton. Lyon, I always like to mention Lyon, Izzy, and England, of course. How do you think that the Manchester United players will be dealing with these numerous changes that he's been made, Ruben Amorim? We can answer that in a moment, because Odegaard has won it back from Ugarte. Now here's Arsenal on the left-hand side. Martinelli makes his run into the box, but Havertz goes back to Zinchenko, who's nearer the halfway line, and then we'll go back all the way to the centre circle.
In simple terms, John, it's get on board the bus or you'll probably get pushed off it sort of thing, because he's got a clear identity, Ruben Amorim. He is clearly creating this appetite and hunger within the squad, and he's figuring things out for the future, and he needs all the players on board with those ideas. He needs players to fit the system, which, by the way, they do. It's just about growing now, and we've got a fantastic view of Ruben Amorim's position on the touchline now. You can kind of tell from his body language what he's happy with, what he's not happy with, and here he is clapping, encouraging his players to press high.
Yeah, people call it 3-4-3, but looking at them there, it looks like a flat back 5 when Manchester United are dropping back to the edge of their own penalty area. But Arsenal with Bukayo Saka just down in front of us, then Odegaard back into the centre circle. More of the half-time whistles are going in the Premier League, and the 7:30 kickoff's going to go to Southampton in a moment. But here's a ball for Martinelli to chase, and Dalot is forced. He had Martinelli right behind him, and there was very little he could do as it bounced up, other than deflected behind for the first corner of the match to Arsenal. Yeah,
it was really good play from Arsenal, just putting the ball over beyond Dalot into those areas where the third centre-back for Manchester United, it'd be De Ligt, has to go out and think about covering, and Martinelli just chased it down, and Arsenal won a corner. And the fans' response to winning that corner, they know what's going on up in Newcastle.
Yeah, and also they know exactly what's happening with a corner to Arsenal, having scored 20 from corners since the start of last season. But of course the difference tonight is there is no Gabriel, so let's see what they do. It's the usual formation, so there are 5 Arsenal players beyond the 6-yard box, then they all go racing into the 6-yard area. In it comes, it's a near post flick, and it's deflected around. Do you know what? I think that has hit Partey, who was only 2 or 3 yards away from the goal line, and has bounced off him and wide.
It has.
Oh, it did. It hit him in the chest or the chin or the face. Shoulder.
He had no idea, and his head is in his hands because he knows how close that was. He was right in front of goal. That should have been 1-0 Arsenal without a doubt.
Yeah, so Arsenal 9 points behind the leaders Liverpool. Chelsea also 9 points behind the leaders Liverpool. Liverpool losing 1-0. And so the half-time news at Southampton, John Southall.
Well, Chelsea leading Southampton by 3-1. 3 goals in the opening 17 minutes. Southampton gifted Chelsea 2. Disasi heading in the first. Aribo equalised. Lumley's pass intercepted, and Kunku finished. Palmer and Tosin went close before Madueke guided in the third. Then Jack Stevens sent off for pulling Cucurella's hair. Southampton, masters of their own downfall. Southampton 1, Chelsea 3.
That's happened before, hasn't it? Cucurella's hair being pulled. Was that Tottenham? Is that Christian Romero? Who I think got away with it, didn't he? If I remember rightly. Do you remember that, Lizzie?
I do remember, yeah.
Sweeping move by Manchester United down the field, but Arsenal defended it well. So Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. Next to half-time at Goodison. Good first half for the home side with you, Chris Coles.
A very good first half for Everton, leading Wolves 2-0. Ashley Young's delicate free kick, followed by Orel Mangala's deflected shot from the edge of the box. They've also had a goal ruled out for offside by VAR. Wolves struggling to get anything going. Everton 2, Wolves 0.
to Ibrox. Gavin Wallace.
Yeah, Rangers have gone 1-0 up, but we have had a lengthy VAR check. It was a delicious ball, John, from Yanis Hadji. I think they've given the goal now. They have indeed. Rangers up 1-0. Yanis Hadji, ball way over to the back post. James Tavernier beat his man to slot home. Rangers 1, Kilmarnock 0.
So 1-0 to Rangers, still Aberdeen 0, Celtic 0 to Villa Park. The other 8:15 kick-off in the Premier League. Sarah Mulkerrins.
Yeah, it's Villa 0, Brentford 0. Brentford are pushing this Villa defence. They've been caught out a couple of times. Lewis Potter, lovely ball in from the right. Morgan Rogers eventually hoofed it clear. And Konza has just been out-muscled on the ball. The eventual shot saved. So Brentford, they are pressing. It's Villa 0, Brentford 0.
Commentary on that online. Saka, left-footed ball towards the far post, looking for Martinelli. It was just cleared away by Manchester United. Looked dangerous, that, as Højlund then is challenged by Saliba. Garnacho tries to take it up, Mount as well. Now Garnacho again. Manchester United in their 4th match under Ruben Amorim, looking sharp, looking sprightly.
Absolutely, John. The 3 front players for Manchester United, Mount, Garnacho, just tucked in behind Rasmus Højlund, are doing a fantastic job so far of picking up the second balls that Rasmus Højlund is creating in and around that central part of the pitch, and it's definitely pleasing the manager. You can see Amorim's body language. He's liking what he's seeing so far.
Yeah, and I think this is interesting as well, is he, with Mason Mount playing in this position, which is just to the right and behind Højlund through the middle. You know, this is where we saw him play to such great effect with Chelsea so often.
Absolutely, he's in exactly that same role, so effective, and if he continues to grow in this side, this could be an absolutely fantastic move that he made. He only made 17 appearances across since he signed, and now he's starting to play under this new manager, and I think he's one the United fans can get really excited about.
Yeah, and with the new England manager Thomas Tuchel being someone who knows Mason Mount very well, Champions League winner with Thomas Tuchel and Chelsea, then important moments, and Mount now does well, just hooks the ball out towards the far side looking for Dalot, but Arsenal, Declan Rice, have dealt with that, and they have the ball inside their own half. Producer George Cummins, Izzy, has just reminded me that Cucurella vowed that he would never get his hair cut again after that incident when Christian Romero pulled his hair, and it's gone and happened again. Here is Saka down the right-hand side. Saka against Malacia. Bukayo Saka, he's on the front of the match programme tonight, plays the ball infield. Timber is onto this, then Timber, square from him, Zinchenko, left-footed ball, right across the penalty area. Malacia allows it to go across him and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, you know what, that's an excellent ball from Zinchenko. He just puts it into an area, shapes it around the shape of Manchester United's back 3 or 5, and it's Malacia. Saka against Malacia is a very interesting battle this evening. The form that Saka's in, and Malacia maybe, defensively exposed last week during the week against Bolo Glint in the Europa League. I think that is an area where Arsenal can capitalise this evening.
Manchester United taking a while to take this goal kick, and the home crowd are onto them. They were looking to take it short. In the end, Onana has waved everyone downfield, so Maguire and Mazraoui, and still we wait for this goal kick that Onana has kicked straight to Odegaard in the centre circle. Odegaard volleys it forward, then it's volleyed back the other way by Bruno Fernandes. The ball bounces near the edge of the area. Højlund, who scored a couple of goals in that match against Bodo Glimt. So Xerxes and Rashford, the goal scorers in the Premier League at the weekend, but Højlund comes back in for this one. So he's got all of his dangerous goal scorers providing goals in his early matches as Bruno Fernandes goes back into the centre circle. I did have a listen to that interview with Ruben Amorim today, the interview that Mark Chapman did at the end of last week, which is well worth finding. It's on the Football Daily feed of BBC Sounds, or you can see it on the BBC iPlayer, sort of 20-25 minutes with Ruben Amorim and Mark Chapman. Ball played down the left-hand side as Amorim watches on with a padded black, open-fronted at the moment Amorak. White trainers. Bruno Fernandes clips it forward into the penalty area. Here's Garnacho, chests it down. Timber's very tight, and then the ball is played off the Arsenal right bank and bounces out down here to our left for a throw-in for Manchester United. Still 0-0 here, but goals in all of the 7:30 kickoffs in the Premier League half-time in those matches now. But if you want to hear what happens next, with Newcastle leading Liverpool by 1-0, Sports Extra is the place for that, with Ian Dennis and Pat Nevin. Bruno Fernandes just turns, ball almost comes to a stop at his feet, plays it to De Ligt, and then back towards Maguire. And Manchester United are being forced all the way to the edge of their own penalty area. Mazraoui, with Martinez suspended. Mazraoui playing on that left-sided position. Garnacho is dispossessed, and now Saliba, who won it back, works it through to Odegaard. Odegaard down into the full-back position with the pass, looking for Havertz, but Mazraoui was always the favourite to get there first. It's kept in play. No, it wasn't kept in play, it was out for a throw.
Yeah, it's really, really tight and congested in the centre of the pitch. It's a really, really intriguing battle between Partey and Declan Rice up against Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes. You can just see the level of movement off the ball in order to try and create space for each other. It is an absolute joy to watch with anyone who loves that side of the game. But you can feel it, the fans, every time Arsenal play forward, they know what is happening.
Flurry of goals in the Fleetwood-Doncaster game. It's now Fleetwood 2, Doncaster 2 in League 2. 0-0 here at the Emirates. As Manchester United with Ugarte, who played for Amorim at Sporting. So he is one player that Ruben Amorim will know inside out. Back to Maguire. Now Mazraoui, who's really stepped on in this new system. The number 3 playing it forward towards Garnacho. And then pass from Ugarte, but that is straight at Zinchenko. And now forward to Martinelli. And Martinelli goes round Bruno Fernandes, who goes down and puts the challenge in, and it's out of play for a throw into Arsenal down the left-hand side. Back to Birmingham City, Stockport in League 1. Sani Rudravajala.
Alfie May's doubled the difference. Birmingham 2, Stockport 0. A deflected effort on 26 and a tap-in 9 minutes later. But Birmingham City keeper Ryan Alsop pulled up a superb save from Villaloni, Louis Barry, and then a brilliant double save from Kyle Wootton as well. Birmingham 2, Stockport 0 at the break.
Manchester United, strong challenge on Havertz. Harry Maguire breaks forward. It's Garnacho who's in possession. Garnacho running the ball towards the edge of the box. Maguire's on the left wing. Maguire then playing it back to Fernandes. Mikel Arteta raises both of his arms. Arsenal and Mikel Arteta did the double over Manchester United last season. In fact, if Arsenal win tonight, the long history between these two great clubs, and of course they will play each other in the FA Cup next month as well after the draw on Monday night. If Arsenal win tonight, it'll be the first time Arsenal have ever won 4 consecutive league matches against Manchester United. De Ligt now to the far side. Dalot plays it into the centre circle, and Arsenal have got it back. So back to Villa Park and Sarah Mulkerrins.
Villa 0, Brentford 0, but the hosts getting into this a little bit more. Digne had a good effort, flash across the face. The goalie was looking for the head of McGinn, and then Morgan Rogers from the left found Ollie Watkins inside the area. Watkins though found the hands of keeper Flecken. It's 0-0.
And commentary on that online, Charlie Slater and Kevin Nolan. If you find it, that's who you'll hear. Bukayo Saka for Arsenal. Arsenal on the right wing. He goes in between Malacia and Garnacho. Then Odegaard. He manages to find a position there. He brings so much more to Arsenal. You know, just that one change. You were talking about it to Kelly, Izzy, before the game, but you know, he really makes them tick, the Norwegian captain.
And to come back in the side and the form he's in, you know, there's always a little bit of a period of scepticism around how a player of that quality is going to come back in. We've seen it with De Bruyne in recent years. How is he going to come back into the side? But Odegaard, it's just the same.
Yeah, missed 12 matches in the time that he was out with that ankle injury. Manchester United with it on the edge of their own box. Mazraoui right-footed out towards Dalot. Dalot infield to Ugarte. Still 7 or 8 yards inside his own half. Bruno Fernandes knows that Odegaard is coming, so just flicks it back to Harry Maguire. So 0-0 here at the Emirates as Manchester United, Maguire hits a long pass, but Raya is able to feel that on the edge of his his own penalty area. Any sign of a goal in the big match in the Premiership with you at Pittodrie, Kenny Crawford?
0-0 at the moment, John. Aberdeen 0, Celtic 0. 33 minutes gone. The 2 shots on target have gone Aberdeen's way. Louis Lopez, the Lisbon-born forward, but the problem is that they've both been straight at Kasper Schmeichel, who's gathered them. So it's Aberdeen 0, Celtic 0.
Yes, I saw his dad. Did you see him earlier, Peter Schmeichel, who was down in the media area? You think of Arsenal, Manchester United, and Peter Schmeichel very much comes to mind.
Yeah, he's never far away from a Manchester United fixture. I've seen him quite regularly.
Frankly, he's never far away from any fixture. I seem to see him at every single match I go to, whether it's in the Premier League or wherever we go. Here's Maguire, right-footed ball out towards the far side. Declan Rice, though, is in position, or he's being chased by Mason Mount, who forced him to pass it all the way back to Raya, and then Raya plays it out to Declan Rice. Remember him scoring one of the late goals in the 3-1 win that Arsenal had against Manchester United here last season. Gabriel Jesus sealed it right at the end. He's on the bench tonight, and Manchester United going back to their goalkeeper, Anana, who's on the D on the edge of his own area. Mazraoui trying to do too much. Saka's dispossessed him. Odegaard now, this could open up for Arsenal. Odegaard back to Saka, heavy-ish touch. Malacia with him, then Timber with a cross into the back of Bruno Fernandes, and it's behind for another Arsenal corner, this one from the right.
Yeah, right in sync. Odegaard just nicking the ball from Mazraoui. Manchester United looking to play out from the back. Went in down a dark alleyway, nicked it. Arsenal, they attach straight away into the feet of Bukayo Saka. Looks to cut inside on that famous in-swinging left foot to shape it into the box. But they've got a corner. Good position for Arsenal. Still
0-0. So he'll see this corner, and then we will go to Villa Park. Saka is ready to take this. Arsenal so potent from the set pieces, from the corners. That goal blitz that they had at West Ham on Saturday tea time. Saka waiting to take this. Raises his right arm, then those little steps, same routine. In it goes to the 6-yard box, and Nana comes and is able to push it, sort of flap it away out of the penalty area. Still Arsenal pressing. Saka around the outside, right-footed cross to the back post. That's headed over the top of the crossbar by Thomas Partey. It's a goal kick to Manchester United. It's still 0-0, but an opening goal of the night with you, Sarah Mulkerrins at Villa Park.
Yeah, it's Aston Villa 1, Brentford 0. A brilliant goal. Villa breaking through the centre. Kamara fed it into Morgan Rogers. He brought it right down to the edge of the D, played it out to Watkins on the left-hand side, who fed it back to Rogers, and a beautiful top corner finish from Rogers. Villa lead Brentford 1-0.
So 1-0 to Aston Villa. Manchester City still with the 2-goal lead with you, John Bennett.
Yes, 2-0 up, 2 changes at half-time. Carl Walker is on for Akanji for Man City, and for Nottingham Forest, Yates has gone off, Morato's come on. They've gone to a back 3. Man City 2, Nottingham Forest 0.
So the 7:30 matches now all underway in the second half. So Newcastle 1, Liverpool 0 is there for you on Sports Extra. We're going to Southampton-Chelsea again though, John Southall.
Southampton 1, Chelsea 3. Should be 4 though. João Felix at the far post, unmarked, free header, put it wide. Southampton 1, Chelsea 3.
Billy Sharp has now made it. Fleetwood 2, Doncaster 3 in League 2. 0-0 here with Manchester United, and Harry Maguire playing it out towards the right-hand side, and then they actually turn and through De Ligt go back to Onana again as Martin Odegaard just goes to ground as he tries to run past Harry Maguire.
Yeah, Manchester United in this new system requires the centre-back, in this instance tonight, Harry Maguire, coming into midfield on the build-up, and he has just stepped into the path of Martin Odegaard, who's looked to press.
Partey, that's a lovely curling ball. Malacia has to get there before Saka. Just got a touch to it. Saka though in the area, and then Mazraoui comes back in to make the challenge. Just got the touch, Malacia.
Yeah, it was a crucial touch by Malacia. Saka does so well to get his body in the way. He's looking to sort of carve out the opportunity to get the ball back in the box, but they've got another corner.
Bukayo Saka to take this one. The last one he swung in almost right underneath the crossbar, and Nana came and punched it away. So again, Martinelli just comes across. There's a message from him. Whether that's kidology or not, I don't know. Making them think they might be trying something different. It's just started to rain here on this cold night. Rain coming straight down into the bowl of the Emirates Stadium. Saka just off the pitch, right arm raised, then the runners across the goalkeeper in the 6-yard area. In it goes, and Nana comes, left-handed punch this time. Zinchenko chest down and shoots. That's blocked. Martinelli lifts his shot, left-footed over the top of the crossbar on the fall. 7 yards out.
Yeah, again, set-piece routine ending with an attempt on target. It's Zinchenko locking up at the back post, gets his cross into the second phase. It drops to Martinelli and he lashes at it, and his reaction, again, we're just watching a replay, suggests that should have been nestled into the back of the net.
Yeah, goals in his last couple of appearances. Martinelli coming back into the starting lineup, but scored against Chelsea, scored against Sporting. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. Liverpool still behind with you at St James's Park. Gary Flintoff.
No, they're not, John. It's Newcastle 1, Liverpool 1, and despite Newcastle starting the second half better, Liverpool equalising through Curtis Jones. A simple move down the right, the ball was cut back in, there was Jones, game on. Newcastle 1, Liverpool 1.
So Liverpool have levelled it up. Newcastle 1, Liverpool 1, and the commentary is on Sports Extra from St James's Park. The rain now increases in intensity here in North London as Arsenal have the ball on the edge of their own penalty area, so that'll give us a chance to go back to Ibrox and Gavin Wallace.
Where Rangers are reining the intensity on Kilmarnock at half-time. It's 1-0 to the home side. It could be 3 or 4, but the goal came on 37. James Tavernier's first goal of the season, a tap-in at the back post after the most sumptuous cross from Yanis Hadji, means Rangers 1, Kilmarnock 0.
And back to Sarah McElrath at Villa Park.
We're checking for a possible penalty to Villa. Ethan Pinnock was chasing down Ollie Watkins, who was on the break, in on goal. Last man standing, and he got a hand to it. So VAR currently checking whether that penalty will be given. John McGinn standing in the area, holding the ball. We're awaiting the outcome, so we'll come back and let you know.
Yeah, we'll be straight back to you, Sarah, once you know. A big shout here, you might have heard it. That was for Odegaard's challenge on Mason Mount in the centre circle. Home supporters absolutely baying for a yellow card, but the referee, Sam Barrett, decides it's just a free kick, which I feel that probably the right decision. More from Izzy Christensen on that in a moment. But, Sarah?
Penalty has been given. Remember, Villa leading Brentford 1-0 already. Morgan Rogers with the opening goal. Ollie Watkins taken down in the area by Ethan Pinnock. VAR has said that yes, the penalty should stand, and now Ollie Watkins is over the ball. Couple of steps back. The referee is making sure all the Brentford players are outside of the box before he's happy that the penalty will be taken. A big deep breath from Watkins. He takes one last look at it, another exhale, and he runs up towards it, strokes it home. Flecken gets a hand to it, but the ball is in the back of the net. Villa lead Brentford 2-0.
2-0 there, 0-0 at the Emirates. Still Newcastle 1, Liverpool 1. Harry Maguire, Manchester United now with the possession inside the Arsenal half. Mazraoui and Fernandes exchange passes, and it's to Goodison Park next. Chris Coles.
What an evening this is turning into for Everton, who now lead Wolves by 3 goals to 0, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin's goal drought is over. His first Premier League goal in 10 appearances, heading in a corner. Everton 3, Wolves 0.
It'll be a big relief for everyone you know so well at Everton, Izzy.
Yeah, that would be a big result for them if they hold on. Yeah, and also good to hear Dom Calvert-Lewin's off the mark as well. That's big news. I bet Goodison Park is loud this evening.
Yeah, big highlights programme on Match of the Day tonight, by the way, on BBC One. You can watch it anytime on the iPlayer, so you'll be able to see Dominic Calvert-Lewin's goal if you stay up, or indeed if you choose to watch it anytime on the iPlayer. Here's Mazraoui, forward from him, straight to Saliba. Saliba then to Timber, back to Saliba. He's marauding forward. He gives the ball to Saka on the right-hand side. Now up against Malacia, who just gives him a little bit of space. Then Saka drives it across, hits a defender, bounces down, and then Onana, after it bounced off Malacia, Onana came at him very quickly, just had to side-foot it behind for a goal kick, and he's actually sat down on it, I think possibly to buy his team a little bit of time.
I think that's exactly right, John. A really interesting attack from Arsenal. It comes from Saliba, who just drifts through the midfield far too easily. Saka getting a lot of the ball this evening, who just goes 1v1 with Malacia, fizzes it across. Maguire does really well to get a shoulder to it. I think the fans are appealing for handball, but just watching a replay, it bounces off his thigh onto his chest. Absolutely not handball. But it's that second phase is bizarre. Malacia tries to shield the ball, and Onana ends up kicking it out of play.
It took a quick corner, Arsenal, but the referee wasn't ready. And so they're going to have to take it again, and the assistant is just having a little word there with Bukayo Saka. It's Lee Betts who's the assistant here, one of the most experienced around, and Bukayo Saka has to wait to take this. Going to go to St James's Park again in a moment, but Arsenal corner alert, so all eyes on Arsenal and Saka, and it's a deep delivery to the back post, and Onana makes the catch, so still 0-0. Gary Flintoff, what news from Tyneside?
1-1 remains the scoreline, John, but Darwin Nunez has just missed an open goal. Gakpo heading it back across, took out the keeper. Nunez slid in at the far post, somehow missed it. Unbelievable. Newcastle 1, Liverpool 1.
The commentary is on Sports Extra. From the northeast to the south coast, John Southall.
Remains Southampton 1, Chelsea 3. Somehow chances for Chelsea. Tossing's hit the post, and Palmer's shot saved. Madueke missed from 4 yards. Somehow 10 men Southampton 1, Chelsea 3.
The Emirates in uproar here. Harry Maguire winning a free kick. I think the home supporters have made it very clear they feel that was, in inverted commas, soft.
Yeah, agreed. But clever for Maguire. Clever, because he wins the first contact up against Havertz. It's minimal contact, but he goes to ground Maguire and just relieves a little bit of pressure for his side.
Back to Onana it goes. Manchester United passing it out from the back and winning a throw-in as Dalot blasts it into Havertz. We were going to go to Goodison Park. Instead, it's to Manchester City. John Bennett.
The 7-game run without a win surely over now. Manchester City 3, Nottingham Forest 0, and it's Jeremy Doku picked up the ball just over the halfway line, carried it to the box and side-footed in. Man City 3, Nottingham Forest 0.
Well, I'm sure they won't let a 3-0 lead slip, is he? Or will they?
Are you on about the Champions League?
Feyenoord, yes. Someone told me yesterday that Manchester United have had 3 managers since Manchester City last won a game, which is true. Eric Ten Hag, Ruud van Nistelrooy, and now the man down on his haunches,
You're just
Ruben Amorim.
heating things up ahead of the derby next weekend,
and
aren't you,
next
John?
week, 5 Live, the place to hear that. Manchester United on a 7-match unbeaten run, and Manchester City, you would think their 7-match run without a win is about to end. How things change. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. And where are we going next? Was it going to be Goodison Park? Yes, it was. Everton having a field day. Not said that too often this season, Chris Coles.
You haven't, have you? And it is still 3-0, but Dominic Calvert-Lewin's goal drought continues because Craig Dawson has been credited with an own goal. Dawson and Calvert-Lewin, they rose as one, and it did just nick off Dawson last. So Everton 3, Wolves 0, Craig Dawson own goal.
Yeah, didn't need that, Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
No.
There's Garnacho down the left wing, but a big cheer here because he miscontrolled it with Saliba coming across straight through for a goal kick. So we've had over half an hour. Izzy, what do you think so far?
Well, it's been 30 minutes has flown by, I must say. It's been tight. You know, both teams have had their moments, but not many attempts on goal from Manchester United. Build-up phases have been good, defensively been really sound, organised, but there's that little sprinkling of magic that Arsenal have got, which you kind of sense is going to turn into something soon.
Yeah, well, it is almost Christmas time. They've had the party header and the Martinelli effort. That was the best chance, wasn't it, when it fell to him 7 or 8 yards out, and he sort of swept the shot wide of the top corner. It's a free kick to Arsenal that Timber eventually takes back into his own half. He took a little while to take that, and I think everyone here conscious of the fact that Arsenal have been caught out by delaying the restart. As David Raya's kick to the halfway line comes back to Zinchenko, and it's back to Villa Park because Sarah Mulkerins.
They are round. It's Aston Villa 3, Brentford 0. Aston Villa again on the break, drove through from John McGinn in the centre circle, head down into the box, the ball eventually whipping across the face of goal, and there was Matty Cash out on the right hand side to fire it home. It's Aston Villa 3, Brentford 0.
It's good from Manchester United. We're watching here. It is slick. They're finding their passes. Here's Ugarte just forward and right of the centre circle. In saying that, as Izzy Christiansen said, in terms of a goal-scoring opportunity, they haven't created one yet. But here at the Emirates, with the big crowd against them, the place is absolutely packed for this, one of the feature matches of the season, as there is a foul on the halfway line for Manchester United, as Garnacho is bundled over. So a free kick to Manchester United, 10 yards inside their own half. We are going back to St Mary's and John Southall,
where we have no referee. Southampton 1, Chelsea 3. Tony Harrington's just gone off to be rewired, taking his shirt off, and is just getting a new pack put on. Chance for Southampton. Fernandes 10 yards out, probably should have scored, saved by Jorgensen. Southampton 1, Chelsea 3, and we're not playing.
No, well, it is the month when a lot of people probably feel they need to be rewired at one stage or another, as Kibior is able to take possession back, and Raya chips it out to Zinchenko, and then back to Raya again. The rain eased off, but now it's back again, and Partey, who missed the match on Saturday, the win against West Ham. Ball is played from him out to Declan Rice on the left-hand side. Going to go to Pittodrie in a moment, but Rice is coming forward with the ball, then stops. He's forced by Ugarte to come in field, so then runs with it square, gives it to Timber. Now he has Odegaard on the right-hand side. Timber, square from him again to Partey. This is the middle of the Manchester United half. Now Saka, touch from him, but Timber is challenged. Garnacho did enough. That meant that Fernandes could roll the ball back into the path of the run of Garnacho, who was eased over by Saka, and that is a free kick on the halfway line for Manchester United with the score 0-0. So back to Pittodrie, Kenny Crawford.
Half-time, Aberdeen 0, Celtic 0. Plenty wind, plenty rain, plenty noise, but no goals. Louis Lopez smashed a low shot off the legs of Schmeichel for Aberdeen. Paulo Bernardo had the ball in the back of the net for Celtic, but disallowed immediately for a foul on Ross Doohan. Aberdeen 0, Celtic 0.
Garnacho with this right-footed ball all the way across to the right-hand side. Dalot, then he has Mason Mount, the Manchester United number 7. Ruben Amorim making 6 changes again tonight. I'm told the Manchester Evening News is calling it the Rubens Roulette. Mazraoui turns, and we will go straight to St James's Park. Another goal. Gary Flintoff.
Just when you thought Liverpool were taking control, Newcastle 2, Liverpool 1, and the man who missed a big opportunity in the first half, Anthony Gordon, into the box. Neat play from Newcastle on the edge of the area, went low. Newcastle 2, the leaders Liverpool 1.
Anthony Gordon, the former Everton man, scoring against Liverpool, and I get the impression here that people know already that Liverpool are behind again. Arsenal in possession on the edge of their own box, so you can hear it, you can hear the closing stages of that match. Newcastle-Liverpool on Sports Extra with Ian Dennis and Pat Nevin right now. Just a click of the dial or a swivel of the wheel on BBC Sounds, and it'll be there for you as Havertz is fouled by Mazraoui. Just came into him there, just leaned into him. Free kick.
Yeah, we're talking about number 9's dropping deep. Havertz leading the line for Arsenal. He drops really, really deep there, and he's so good at drawing a foul. He gets it, and you can sense, exactly like you just said there, John, that the crowd are clearly caught wind of the fact that Newcastle have gone ahead, and they just know, Arsenal, that this is a real opportunity. If it does stay like that, they have to score and use this opportunity.
We're in the first half here, because this was an 8:15 kickoff. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. But Liverpool 2-1 down. There's always the possibility that was going to be a tricky fixture for Liverpool after the big highs of winning against Real Madrid and Manchester City at Anfield during the course of the last week. And there we are, and it's the Merseyside derby on Saturday lunchtime as well. Coverage of that in 5 Live Sport on Saturday afternoon, when Crystal Palace Manchester City will be the 3 o'clock commentary, and then Manchester United Nottingham Forest. So we are with Ruben Amorim's team again for commentary on Saturday. Here is Saka. Saka playing the ball back to the stretching Partey. Keeps possession and gives it to Declan Rice. Rice now out towards the left-hand side. And Zinchenko just flicks it into Partey, and Arsenal just keeping possession inside the Manchester United half.
Super patient, waiting for their moment to break the line. Odegaard drifting out wide to Saka's side, as he so often does.
As he said, it's been a match of few chances. It's Martinelli now down the left-hand side. In comes the cross, but it's caught at the near post. Too close to goalkeeper Onana. A routine catch. Back to Newcastle, Liverpool. Gary Flintoff.
This is really developing now. Newcastle 2, Liverpool 1. Curtis Jones, point-blank range with the header, denied by Nick Pope as Newcastle break away with Isak into the penalty area, shoots low and scores. But no, I think the flag is up. It's Newcastle 2, Liverpool 1.
So 2-1 it remains as Ugarte in on the challenge on Havertz. That's not given as a free kick. Now out to the right-hand side to Diego Dalot, and Dalot looks for Mason Mount, who's dropped into his own half. Coming back, it's great fluidity between Mount and Fernandes and Ugarte. This particular midfield three, if you like, as Malacia goes back to Mazraoui on the edge of the penalty area. Ruben Amorim turns just down in front of us. Little shake of the head. Wasn't happy about something. Rubbed his hands together. I think there'll be words about that at half-time, whatever it was. As Bruno Fernandes lifts it right-footed to Diogo Dalot. Now Bruno Fernandes looks up and hits the high pass from right to left onto the left instep of Malacia. Garnacho receives it from him. Timber is in, very tight. Yeah, that was just had a little more aggression in it, that challenge, and he's caught Garnacho, who has stayed down on the pitch on his back. Free kick, Manchester United.
Yeah, you know what, this half has actually been Bruno Fernandes' world. He has dictated everything. You know, Manchester United have not created anything in and around Arsenal's 18-yard box, but what they have done is they've kept the ball really, really nicely. They've looked clean. They've looked like they have ideas. We've spoken many a time around a style of play at Manchester United, starting to see patterns emerging. But Bruno Fernandes, he's been an absolute joy to watch this opening 40 minutes.
Yeah, after 4 goals in the last 7 matches, i.e. the 7 matches since the sacking of Erik ten Hag. Maybe a coincidence, maybe not. Mount to take this free kick from out on the left, angles it high towards the far side of the penalty area. It's headed across the Arsenal box. Rice was able to head it away, comes out to Mount, who chests it down, but Rice was bearing down on him. It actually hasn't gone out of play. Turned across by Maguire. Dalot with a shot, and Raya, diving to his right, sees the ball fizz through the 6-yard area and wide of the left post.
Yeah, the ball drops from the free kick out to Mount on the edge of the area, and he looks to strike it. He completely misconnects with the ball. It slices into the path of Maguire, who fizzes it back across goal. It falls to Dalot, and that is a big chance for Manchester United. Dalot just lurking on the edge. He gets the second phase, takes a touch, snatches, and it fizzes across Raya. It's not far away at all.
Manchester United's best chance, still 0-0. Still Liverpool losing by 2-1. But another goal there, Gary Flintoff.
Oh no, they're not, John. It's Newcastle 2, Liverpool 2. Again, Liverpool attack down the right, the ball into the box. Who else? Mo Salah with a neat finish past Nick Pope into the bottom corner. Game on again. Newcastle 2, the leaders Liverpool 2.
And help me out, Gary, I can't work it out. How long to go there?
That goal came in the 68th minute, so we've got plenty of thrills and spills still ahead.
Sounds like a minor classic. Commentary on Sports Extra. 0-0 here at the Emirates. A little bit of a dust-up between Havertz on the halfway line, and Malacia has shown the yellow card and then stands with his palms apart as if to say, who? Me? But
yeah,
he's booked, first yellow card.
Yeah, there we go. And identical situation. Havertz dropping in again into the halfway line, getting the ball on the turn. Malacia just fouls him, takes away his rhythm, and that is what he's got booked for. But there's a little bit of afters going on there, isn't there?
Yeah, that's it. There's a bit of feeling, but you can understand it, Izzy, because the match has been so tight, really tightly contested between these two sides. New look Manchester United who over the course of the 7 matches that I was talking about, Manchester United unbeaten since Ten Hag's last match as the manager. They've got an extra confidence, they've got much more about them now as Timber brings it forward for Arsenal. Then a challenge from Malacia. Malacia had to be quick there, but he was against Saka, and as he cleared it, he was caught by the Arsenal number 7, and it's a free kick. I'm not sure how much contact there was, but Malacia is making sure that he got the free kick for it, which he has. And there's a yellow card for, well, someone said something. Do you think that was Bruno Fernandes?
Couldn't quite see. There's 4 Manchester United players around the referee at present: Onana, Mazraoui, Fernandes and Maguire.
Ugarte, I think.
Yeah, I think it's gone to Ugarte. You're right, John.
Do you know what it's for? It's for the old showing the imaginary yellow card.
Asking for a card.
Waving. Brandishing even.
That is the word. One of those.
Yes. I have a feeling that might be featuring in our great dictionary of football commentary on the new Commentator's View podcast that we've got going. Me, Ali Bruce Ball and Ian Dennis. We're recording another one tomorrow, so look out for that on the Football Daily feed on BBC Sounds. That's where you'll find it, the Commentator's View podcast. Shrewsbury 1, Blackpool 1, equaliser for Blackpool in League One. So these latest scores in the Premier League, correct me if I'm wrong here, but Everton leading Wolves by 3-0. In fact, we'll go straight there. Chris Coles.
Was nearly 4-0. In fact, it was, we thought, but the referee adjudged a Dominic Calvert-Lewin foul on the goalkeeper Jose Sarr, and Jai put it in, but the referee's whistle had already gone, and Wolves have just hit the post. A Matt Doherty header at the back post. Everton 3, Wolves 0.
And the other scores as they stand. Top of the tree, Newcastle 2, Liverpool 2 is the score now at St James's Park, as you've heard. Manchester City on the way to their first win in 8 matches, it would appear. 3-0 on Nottingham Forest. Southampton 1, Chelsea 3. So Chelsea perhaps moving ahead of Arsenal if the scores stay as they are. And Aston Villa coming back to some form with a 3-0 lead over Brentford. And it is half-time here at the Emirates. 0-0. Relatively few chances. Izzy Christiansen, Arsenal with the header from Partey, the effort from Martinelli, and then Manchester United really just a one clear chance, that shot across goal from Dello.
Yeah, it's been a cagey affair without a doubt. 2 teams that are littered with huge amount of talent going right at it. Manchester United, this new look team, dictating the ball in 2/3 of the pitch quite nicely, but the final third, like you say, not creating a huge amount at all. And Arsenal, you can just feel it inside the stadium with what's going on up in the northeast. If Liverpool were to drop points, Arsenal are the next closest team to Liverpool. A win tonight is so important for them, and you can feel it. The fans want that goal.
Yep, it's a hectic night up and down the country. It is being very closely contested, this match between 2 informed sides, but no goals at half-time. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0.
Thank you very much to John Murray. Is it just a quick question on Manchester United and how they're playing in this game? It is a tight, tense game, as you said, and it looks like the two sides are battling for control. I heard you talking about Bruno Fernandes, and I just wonder, with all the talk of how Ruben Amorim's Manchester United might look, if maybe Fernandes is the player upon which all of this hinges.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Kelly, and I think the reason for that is because he's such an intelligent footballer. In the way that he progresses the ball when he operates in those deeper positions, which is where he's at tonight, is so intelligent. But then when he starts to get higher, his intelligence is needed in the final third, so it's almost you want to clone him and you need him in 2 positions. But his relationship with Mason Mount is starting to emerge. When Bruno Fernandes runs forward, Mason Mount drops into that sort of midfield 2 alongside Ugarte. But the way that he's switched the play, he's just got freedom with the way that he plays, and to just continually churn out these performances. The guy's an unbelievable footballer.
It's starting to take shape, but as Liverpool are dropping points at Newcastle United, as things stand, there's a real opportunity here for Arsenal to close the gap. They will want to take it against Manchester United. We'll be back at the Emirates for the second half of that game with Izzy Christiansen and John Murray when that gets underway. In the meantime, we're going to head to the game at Ibrox, and Gavin Wallace.
Yeah, Rangers have just doubled their lead less than 5-6 minutes into the second half. Lovely work down the left-hand side. The ball was whipped in, and Danilo there, it was a low cross in, got the outside of his right foot and put it past Robbie McCrory. Rangers looking and cruising here on Easy Street. Rangers 2, Kilmarnock 0. Oh, Rangers have just scored a third! Sorry, Kelly, you could be probably going to time that. And he was. And what an absolute belter of a goal. I think it might have been Hamza Igman, maybe even have been Danilo again, just on the edge of the box. It came back out. Kilmarnock really at 6s and 7s at the back tonight. They're struggling to deal with the pressure of Rangers. It falls to him in the edge of the box and puts it in the bottom right-hand corner. Robbie McCrory, no chance. That's Rangers 3, Kilmarnock 0.
Gavin, thank you very much for that. Always happens at the worst possible time, but not as far as Rangers fans are concerned, as they go 3-0 up at home to Kilmarnock. Busy night of action at St James's Park. Chances at both ends. This is an end-to-end match. Turns for both sets of supporters. Gary Flintoff is the man in the middle.
Yeah, the only thing not to enjoy about this one tonight, Kelly, is the fact it started to rain, and you know what that means here at St James's Park in the press box. But I've got to say, it's a really enjoyable game. Newcastle 2, Liverpool 2, and every time one team takes an advantage, the other side snaps right back into it. And although Liverpool are currently looking at losing points here tonight, Newcastle have played so well. They led at the break, Isak with the goal, Curtis Jones with the equaliser, then Anthony Gordon making it 2-1 to the home side, and Mo Salah, who else, with the equaliser to make it 2-2. With 14 minutes of normal time remaining, I have to say I'll be very surprised if we don't see another goal. Arne Slot has thrown on three of his big guns, if you will. He's sent on he's sent on Trent Alexander-Arnold, Szoboszlai and Diaz. And the only downside for Liverpool, apart from the points which they may be losing tonight, is the fact that McAllister has been booked and will miss the Merseyside derby on Saturday lunchtime. But this has been fast, it's been frenetic, it's been crazy at times, it's been great. Newcastle 2, Liverpool 2.
Gary expects more goals. There has been another goal at Goodison. Chris Coles.
And a perfect night for Everton. They lead Wolves by 4-0. And is this Dominic Calvert-Lewin's goal finally? It's going to be another close one. It could well be another Craig Dawson own goal. Free kick. Calvert-Lewin gets across Dawson, heads it against the Wolves defender. It creeps in. There's a big smile on Calvert-Lewin's face. I think the whole of Goodison Park, bar the 2,000 Wolves fans, will want that goal to be credited to Calvert-Lewin. Everton have been excellent, Wolves have been dismal, and you have to wonder where this leaves Gary O'Neill, already under pressure, and a scoreline like this will do very little to ease that pressure. Everton 4, Wolves 0, although we've got one of those delays which suggests this might be being checked for offside, and it is, so hold that thought for now.
We will come back to you, Chris, as soon as they've made the decision on that one. There has been a goal at St Mary's. John Southall.
And it's been coming. Southampton 1, Chelsea 4, and Kunku's shot was saved. And there was Cole Palmer, who else, to roll it in, tap it in, his 9th goal of the season. They've had so many chances in their second half, Chelsea. They've been coasting, and they have the 4th. And as it stands, they'll be moving to 2nd in the Premier League. But let's not forget, Maresca keeps telling us they can't win the league. Southampton 1, Chelsea 4.
They find themselves very nicely positioned as things stand, though. At the Etihad, John Bennett.
The smiles are back at the Etihad. Manchester City 3, Nottingham Forest 0. I don't think there's going to be a repeat of Feyenoord. Just a short while ago, a huge standing ovation for Kevin De Bruyne, who's been at the centre of everything. He was replaced by Rico Lewis. He scored the second goal of the night, side-footed from just inside the box. Bernardo Silva got things going with a tap-in, and then Jeremy Doku scored a brilliant goal, picking up the ball on the halfway line, carrying it all the way to the penalty area. Hasn't been perfect. Nottingham Forest have had great chances. One when they're only 1-0 down, wasted by Chris Wood. But it's Manchester City 3, Nottingham Forest 0.
Does the goal stand at Goodison Park? And if it does, has it been given to Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Chris Coles.
Well, I can answer one of those questions, Kelly. Yes, the goal stands, and mercifully it didn't take very long to check whether Abdoulaye Doucouré was in an offside position. I've seen two Vidi printers. One gives it to Calvert-Lewin, the other gives it to Craig Dawson. So watch this space. 4-0 Everton. It's either a brace of own goals for Craig Dawson or Dominic Calvert-Lewin finally has that goal.
Thank you very much for that. So regular updates from the 7:30 games, which are now going into the final 10 or so minutes. The 8:15 game will be back at the Emirates for second half commentary of Arsenal against Manchester United. Meanwhile, it's half-time at Villa Park. Sarah McCarrans.
And it couldn't be going better for the hosts. They lead Brentford 3-0. Their first goal from Rodgers struck a beauty from edge of the D, right corner. The second, a penalty. Pinnock pulled down Watkins. Watkins was able to convert with a low finish. And then their third coming just after 30 minutes. Cash firing home at the back post from a ball that was whipped in. Brentford have offered some bits in attack. Shadow, though, has had not been able to make the target, Kelly, from his opportunity so far. Villa really pulling Brentford apart in midfield. They lead 3-0.
And an update from St James's Park, where there have been more chances. Gary Flintoff.
Yep, Newcastle 2, Liverpool 2. A big penalty shout, Kelly. Alexander Isak went down inside the penalty area. Listening to Pat Nevin, who's commentating on 5 Sports Extra, he thought that was a really, really good shout, but they've stayed on field with the referee's decision. The VAR did have a look at it. It remains Newcastle 2, Liverpool 2. The leaders set to lose points.
About 10 minutes left to go in those 7:30 kickoffs. We'll be back for the second half at the Emirates with regular updates from Aston Villa against Brentford, and keep you up to date with everything that's happening in the EFL and the Scottish Premiership after the BBC News with Lisa McCormick.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live. The French government has collapsed after the Prime Minister lost a vote of no confidence. Opposition parties called the vote after Michel Barnier used special powers to force through controversial social security reforms. The National Crime Agency disrupted a money laundering scheme between Russia and British drug dealers. Money was sent to Moscow to be exchanged for cryptocurrency stolen in ransomware attacks. 84 people have been arrested, including 71 in the UK. A manhunt's underway in New York after the boss of America's biggest private health insurance company was shot dead by a masked gunman near Times Square. 50-year-old Brian Thompson was on his way to a conference at the Hilton Hotel. And the makers of Guinness have put limits on deliveries to pubs in Britain after a spike in sales left the brewer struggling to meet demand. Diageo, which brews the beer in Dublin, says it's maximising production and trying to divert supplies to where they're most needed.
Oh, there he is, look! Ho, 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 everyone.
It's nearly
Christmas!
So pop over to BBC iPlayer for that festive feeling.
Merry Christmas!
Come in. I can honestly say I've never been given a tap before for Christmas.
However you celebrate.
Loads of food, loads of prezzies.
Have a mince pie. At least one of your favourite days, huh?
We're more than ready for Christmas.
We get a sing-song going further.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer has a very shiny nose.
Let the festivities begin.
Watch Christmas comedy on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sports
with Kelly Cates.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Hello, welcome back to 5 Live Sports. Second half of Arsenal against Manchester United coming up. That one goalless at the moment. Izzy Christensen and John Murray will be joining us very shortly. Elsewhere this evening, we're going to start at St James's Park. It's Newcastle against Liverpool. Gary Flintoff is there. They're getting closer and closer, Gary.
Oh, they are, Kelly. 8 minutes to play. Newcastle 2, Liverpool 2, and the twinkle-toed Mo Salah went into the box and just about managed to squeeze his shot away, and it came back off the frame of the goal with Nick Pope beaten as Liverpool with Darwin Núñez claimed for a penalty. Diaz is edge of the area. Liverpool are just camped on the edge of the Newcastle box here. There's every chance. There's going to be a chance here for Salah, who shoots low and scores. Mo Salah with his second of the night, allowed to turn inside the penalty area. And the man they call the Egyptian King has come up with the goods. And for the first time tonight, Liverpool lead at St James's Park. Newcastle have been good. You have to feel for them. But it's Newcastle United 2, the leaders of the Premier League, Liverpool 3.
Gary, having said that, you wouldn't bet on there being bet against there being another goal in this one.
Absolutely not. I'll put Ian Dennis's house on the fact. No, I won't do that, Kelly. But I'll tell you what, the way this game has gone, and the Liverpool fans may feel that they would have had a good view of the challenge on Isak. That could have gone against them. The referee could have easily given Newcastle the penalty just a couple of minutes ago. But Andy Madley went, no. Wave play on, and then 3-4 minutes later, Mo Salah has given Liverpool the lead. This has been a great game of football.
And there's still more to come. Coverage continues on Sports Extra and BBC Sounds, and Gary will keep us right up to date with everything that's happening in that one. Southampton taking on Chelsea. John Southall.
No such jeopardy here. Southampton 1, Chelsea 4. Chelsea just seeing this game out. Cole Palmer with the fourth. Tapped it in. He's just been substituted. They have the luxury of taking the big players off with Tottenham to come on Sunday. Southampton, remember, 10 men. Southampton 1, Chelsea 4.
Not much jeopardy at Goodison Park either, except possibly for the Wolves boss. Chris Coles is there.
You have to wonder, Kelly, where Wolves and Gary O'Neill go from here. Everton 4, Wolves 0. Goodison Park has not enjoyed a night like this in the Premier League for a long time, playing some really good football, playing with the freedom a 4-0 lead gives you. I reckon there are probably two things on the Everton wish list in the final 10 minutes. Keep the clean sheet and get Dominic Calvert-Lewin a goal. He's had another good chance, left foot shot, couple of yards wide of the post. Wolves, to their credit, are still pushing forward. They're beleaguered fans in the far side of Goodison Park, standing and cheering, but it's been a chastening night for them. Everton 4, Wolves 0, 9 minutes to play.
With not long to go, I think it's fair to say, John Bennett, Manchester City are back.
I think that's fair to say, yeah. There won't be a comeback from Nottingham Forest. Manchester City 3, Nottingham Forest 0. Elliot Anderson just had a chance moments ago. Ortega with the save, but Pep Guardiola, as he walks back to his seat in the dugout, will be very proud of this performance. Man City 3, Nottingham Forest 0.
In the Scottish Premiership, let's turn to Ibrox and Gavin Wallace.
There's been a fourth goal as well, just on the hour mark. Vlakov Cherny, Kate, really lovely, really punishing what Kilmarnock are trying to do at the back. But Nicholas Raskin jinked his way into the box. The check forward, put his foot through it and scored his 6th of the season. Rangers free-flowing, good tempo, everything we haven't seen from Rangers this season. Rangers 4, Kilmarnock 0.
And at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen against Celtic, Kenny Crawford is there.
53 minutes gone, still Aberdeen 0, Celtic 0, no goals, but we did have a penalty check a couple of minutes ago. That was for Aberdeen. It was Sivert Nielsen, the midfielder from Norway. He was grabbed in the box by Paulo Bernardo, but referee Don Robertson waited on the VAR assistant, telling him that there was nothing in it. So it's still Aberdeen 0, Celtic 0.
Also in the Scottish Premiership, it's Dundee 3, Motherwell 1. In League 1, Birmingham City are taking on Stockport. Sani Radravajula is there.
16 to go, Birmingham 2, Stockport 0. Looks like Alfie May's double in the first half is going to seal this one. Birmingham actually pushing for another goal through Jay Stansfield at the moment. Stockport County been better in the second half, but I'm afraid to say that even though these two have occupied the playoff places together, Birmingham City have been outclassing Stockport tonight. Birmingham 2, Stockport 0.
Elsewhere in League 1, Peterborough 0, Burton Albion 1, Shrewsbury 1, Blackpool 2. In League 2, it's Bromley 1, Gillingham 1, Fleetwood Town 2, Doncaster Rovers 4. Remember, you can listen to our commentary with the final score graphics and the video printed tonight. That'll keep you up to date with everything that's happening. All you have to do is press the red button or go to BBC iPlayer or the BBC Sport app and just click on 5 Live final score. Here on 5 Live, it's Arsenal against Manchester United. With you for the second half, Izzy Christiansen and John Murray.
As the second half begins with a scoreline, Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. Ruben Amorim has made a change just before the start of the second half. Malacia is off after his first Premier League start for 17 months, and Amad Diallo has come on. So there's been a switch, Izzy Christiansen. So Diallo's gone over to the left-hand side and Amad Diallo playing as the right wing-back.
That's right, and if you had a heat map of Amad Diallo so far this season, a lot of it has been down this right-hand side. They'll look to get him forward and be that offensive threat as well, in behind Zinchenko and Kivior, who are stepping in tonight.
Going to be a test this, got to get to my feet, Izzy, because all of the spectators to our left are still coming down the walkway here. So to see Arsenal attacking from right to left towards the North Bank stand, I've got to raise myself above their level. And here's Partey in the centre circle. I'll run you through the teams. In fact, I'll run you through the teams when we get back from Southampton. And John Southall.
Where Chelsea have a fifth, Southampton 1, Chelsea 5. Jadon Sancho with his first goal for the club, smashing it in, and there's a lot of empty red seats around St Mary's. Southampton 1, Chelsea 5.
And admittedly, that is against the bottom club, Izzy Christiansen, but that is some statement scoreline from Chelsea, who at the moment would be going ahead of Arsenal in the table. As Bruno Fernandes brings it forward for Manchester United and gives it to Garnacho, and his right-footed ball with the outside of his boot. He was looking for the run of Højlund to the edge of the 6-yard box. Højlund just couldn't get there, and the ball all the way through along the 6-yard area and behind for a goal kick. 0-0.
Yeah, it's much better from Manchester United. They're actually starting to penetrate that 18-yard box early on in this second half. Garnacho drifting down that left, puts a really nice ball, shapes it with the outside of his boot into that area between the centre-backs and the goalkeeper, David Raya, and Højlund isn't too far away from that at all.
So a goal kick for Arsenal in the 7:30 kickoffs, not long to go. Newcastle 2, Liverpool 3. So Arsenal know that they have to win, and here's Martinelli now into the area. Martinelli goes for goal. It comes off the legs of Harry Maguire. He actually shot through the legs, but it flicked the inside of his knee and bounced it through for Anana to make the save. 0-0 here. More news from Newcastle. Gary Flintoff.
Newcastle 3, Liverpool 3. There have been moments tonight, John, where I've not quite believed my eyes. And Liverpool defending a free kick. Quavin Kelleher came out to claim the ball, but then decided not to catch it. Behind him was Fabian Schär from a very, very tight angle, and he squeezed it in. It's Newcastle 3, Liverpool 3, with 1 minute to play.
That sounds like what has been one of the matches of the season so far, and you can hear the end of it on Sports Extra right now with Ian Dennis and Pat Nevin, and obviously we'll have much more from there later. All the reaction from all of these matches. 5 Live Sport on air until 10:30 tonight before Tony Livesey takes over with his new late night show. Back to Gavin Wallace now at Ibrox.
It's going from bad to worse for Kelly, but amazingly well for Rangers. So on Rangers 5, Kilmarnock now, long VAR check. Cyril Dessers taps in from 5 yards. Jeffy puts a great ball in from that left-hand side. Rangers 5, Kelly 0.
Arsenal on the attack, and Odegaard and Rice combine a shot from Rice from 2 or 3 yards inside the penalty area that whizzed over the top of the bar, but via a deflection for a corner.
Yeah, clean, crisp, final third play from Arsenal again. Odegaard at the absolute heart of it, gets the ball cut back to him, takes a touch, sells pretty much the whole Manchester United defence into thinking he's going to strike it, lays it off to Declan Rice, who shoots over and gets a corner.
That sounds like something else at Newcastle, doesn't it? 3-3 now, 0-0 here. I've got a feeling that this will get better as the second half goes on. Here's the corner into the near post, attempted near post flick, cleared away by Garnacho, far side of the penalty area, comes out to Saka. Saka then back to Zinchenko near the halfway line. So Arsenal are as they were at the start of the match. No changes yet for them as the rain comes again here in North London and sweeps across the Emirates Stadium. Odegaard left-footed ball in deep. Martinelli goes for it. Rice pulls it back across, only half headed away, but the offside flag is up. And even though Odegaard was thinking about a shot, it's a free kick to Arsenal. So the 7:30 matches are almost over, all of them well into the 90 minutes or into added time. It remains Everton 4, Wolves 0. Manchester City on the way back to victory, winning 3-0 against Nottingham Forest. Chelsea with a mammoth win, 5-1 at Southampton, and with the scores as they are, Chelsea are going back second. There's a delay to the restart here because De Ligt has got a problem, and he's actually off the field, and you can hear the Arsenal fans are angry here, and in fact he's put his hands on the field even though even though he's off the pitch. He's leaned forward onto the pitch, therefore play cannot restart, and Manchester United, well, and now the ball's been rolled back onto the field,
and Maguire has just been booked for pushing the ball onto the pitch when the ball boy on the far side gave a ball to Anana, and the referee thought he was time wasting, but he actually wasn't, and now Maguire's on a yellow card.
Yeah, so Maguire is booked. Arsenal themselves, of course, no stranger to the dark arts, as has been mentioned and a number of times this season, as Odegaard's passes all the way through to Anana. Back to Newcastle, Gary Flintoff.
It remains Newcastle 3, Liverpool 3, but Liverpool with a big shout for a penalty. Alexander Isak in the way, but the VAR ruled correctly that his arm was by his side. corner taken, nothing came from it. 2 minutes to play, Newcastle 3, Liverpool 3, and now Newcastle have a free kick, edge of the Liverpool penalty area.
With the scores as they are, Liverpool would have 35 points. Suppose played forward for Hoyland, but Raya's out of the penalty area. Liverpool would have 35 points, then Chelsea with 28 and Arsenal with 26. Long way to go in this match yet, but I think the only thing we can say for sure is that Chelsea are on the way to their victory. But 0-0 here, and passions continuing to run high, Izzy.
Yeah, they are. Arsenal are starting to sort of tap into the emotional side of the game. I do think they've got wind of...
Oh, excellent from Diallo. Goes past Zinchenko, who stuck out a leg. Diallo just hopped over it on the way through, and Kiwior was there as the second line of defence behind. We talked at the start of the match, Izzy, about Kiwior and Zinchenko in these positions in the absence of Gabriel and Calafiori. Manchester United really haven't got at them.
That's right, but I think that's the theory behind Amad Diallo coming on at half-time to be more offensive.
Super shimmy from Odegaard. Odegaard now to Martinelli. Ball slightly behind him. Martinelli into the box to the byline. De Ligt is able to block it behind. Another Arsenal corner from the left-hand side. So it is still 3-3, Newcastle and Liverpool. And Aston Villa in the other 8:15 kickoff on the way to victory, winning 3-0 against Brentford. Everyone on their feet again to my left. So up we go again.
I find it hard to believe how you need to go onto your feet, John, given your height. Even sitting down, you're very tall.
I thought you were going to say you find it hard to know how I'm able to get up and down so quickly. Here's Rice who's going to take this corner from the left. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Arsenal players in a line on the far side of the 6-yard box, and then they all make the run into the crowded central area. It comes off a United head. It's an own goal, and Arsenal are in front, 1-0. It's yet another corner. Corners come up trumps for Mikel Arteta and his team, and that's the goal the Emirates wanted. 1-0.
That is the goal they needed. They wanted and they needed it, and they have got it. It's all in the delivery from Declan Rice. The game's opened right up. They find Martinelli, they win the corner, and that is why they need set pieces, because they are so effective. It's all about the in-swinging delivery with pace from Declan Rice. He just puts it into an area, and is it an own goal? Just watching a replay.
Or is it Timber?
Timber.
Oh, it is. Hoyland was just in front of Timber. Did he get a touch? Yes, he did. It's Timber's goal.
Yeah.
Jurrien Timber with his first goal for Arsenal. No Gabriel, and Timber steps up into his place. Jurrien Timber, and it's Arsenal 1, Manchester United 0. And now Chelsea are on the way to victory. Arsenal are winning. What about Liverpool at Newcastle? Gary Flintoff.
It has finished. Newcastle 3, Liverpool 3. So Liverpool drop points here at St James's Park. Crazy game. Mo Salah thought he'd won it for the visitors. 7 minutes from time, he made it 3-2 to Liverpool. But Fabian Schär, after an error from Quaveen Kelleher, made it Newcastle 3, Liverpool 3.
1-0 to the Arsenal is the song ringing around the Emirates Stadium. And what about Manchester City, the champions? Not forget about them, John Bennett.
The Manchester City crisis is over for now. Man City 3, Nottingham Forest 0. Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne with goals first half. Jeremy Doku made it 3 with a great run second half. De Bruyne at the centre of everything. Grealish excellent too in the number 10 role. Relief for Pep Guardiola. Manchester City 3, Nottingham Forest 0.
And as for Chelsea, big win for them tonight at the bottom club, John Southall.
Yeah, they've cruised to a win. Southampton 1, Chelsea 5, 3-1 at half-time, with Southampton gifting Chelsea 2 goals and then having Jack Stevens sent off for pulling Cucurella's hair. Cole Palmer tapped in the 4th. Jadon Sancho with the 5th, his first for the club. Booze at the end. Chelsea up to second for now. Southampton still 7 points adrift of safety. Southampton 1, Chelsea 5.
Arsenal's tails are up here. Odegaard with a run into the penalty area, a twisting turn, but he wasn't able to set up any of his teammates. And now Ruben Amorim's turning to Marcus Rashford and also Joshua Zirkzee.
Yeah.
They're both going to come on.
And Yoro as well. He looks like he's ready to make it a triple sub for Manchester United in response to going 1-0 down.
Manchester United on the attack, but the ball is headed away by Saliba, out of play on the far side. So we know that Manchester City have won. It's finished Newcastle 3, Liverpool 3. Chelsea have won well at Southampton. Is it Goodison Park we're going next? In fact, let's just see what happens to Manchester United, who take the throw-in on the far side. 3 Manchester United substitutes waiting to come on. Ruben Amorim potentially facing his first defeat as the Manchester United manager, or head coach, as his title is. Amad Diallo now, who came on at half-time, away by Mount on the edge of the box, and then De Ligt plays it in, but into the path of Kivior, who's able to hit it long and away downfield. And we will go to hear about probably the best day of the season so far for Everton with you, Chris Coles.
Comfortably, I'd say, John. A big win for Everton in every sense. 4-0 the scoreline. Young's free kick and Mangala's deflected strike in the first half. A brace of Dawson own goals in the second. Everton domination. Wolves dismal, increasing the already significant pressure on Gary O'Neill. Everton 4, Wolves 0.
Arsenal trying to add a second. Odegaard into the penalty area. Through now. Chance. Saka with a low shot. It was saved by Onana, but in any case the offside flag was up.
He's offside, but again, Odegaard, Saka combining, getting into that corner of the 18-yard box, looking for those little slipped passes. The chemistry between those two players is starting to really feel into the game right now. They've had a couple of openings down that side, and they're starting to smell blood with Manchester United.
1-0 to Arsenal. Jurrien Timber scoring the goal early in the second half. Manchester United, though, trying to do something about this. Great atmosphere around the Emirates as the ball is taken on by Gallo from the left-hand side, who hits a shot that flies away over the top of the crossbar. 2-8-15 kickoffs tonight, the other at Villa Park, where Aston Villa had a very good first 45 minutes. Sarah Mulkerrins?
It's Villa 3, Brentford 1. The visitors have got one back. Villa defence not coping well under pressure, and it was Damsgaard, edge of the 6-yard box, who was able to find space to fire it home. The visitors are back in this one. It's Villa 3, Brentford 1.
Back to Gavin Wallace at Ibrox.
It's going from bad to worse for Kilmarnock, but amazingly well for Rangers. 6-0 up now. Cyril Dessers on 78. James Tavernier down the right hand side. As easy a cutback as you'll see, and the under fire striker for Rangers slotted home from 12 yards. Rangers 6, Kilmarnock 0.
Still Aberdeen 0, Celtic 0 in the match involving the top two at Pittodrie, and Dundee are 4-1 up on Motherwell in the other match in the Premiership tonight. Incidentally, Real Madrid losing 1-0 tonight in La Liga against Athletic Bilbao. 1-0 to Arsenal. Manchester United making the 3 changes, Izzy. So Garnacho, Mount and Maguire are off. Xerxes, Rashford and Lenny Yoro finally getting the chance to appear for the Manchester United first team in a competitive match for the first time, as Arsenal come forward with Martinelli slipping it through for Declan Rice, and De Ligt has to come across to prod it out for another Arsenal corner from the left. This is where they scored the opening goal from.
That's exactly right. They're just challenging Yoro. He's just come on, opening seconds and getting him running the channels, having to deal with the power and pace of Declan Rice, and Martinelli running down that left for Arsenal.
So Rice's delivery was precise for the first goal, and Rice waiting to take this corner. He's actually, there's a bottle of water down there that he just leans on. How cool is that? Picks that up, has a swig of that, drops it down, big lift of his shoulders, big breath as Arsenal organise themselves. Referee Sam Barrett is still saying don't take it yet, because he wants to speak to William Saliba. And now that Newcastle 3, Liverpool 3 is over, the Aston Villa Brentford match has been switched onto Sports Extra. So that is the choice of listening for you right now from BBC Radio. Okay, the discussion has ended. Saliba back in place. Declan Rice waits. Arsenal have already scored from a corner, 21st since the start of last season. In it goes again, comes off the head of Xerxes and flies across his own goal. Took another touch of a Manchester United player on the far side of the 6-yard box. It's another corner, but again, danger.
Yeah, you know what, that's an excellent clearance off the line from Ugarte, as that was going into the back of the net off the flick on. Arsenal again piling up inside the 6-yard box, creating chaos, if you like. Xerxes gets the flick on, and Ugarte gets an excellent glance that actually stops the ball going into the net.
So Arsenal already 1-0 up through that 54th minute goal from Julian Timber, and very nearly got another one from a corner. Now it's Saka from the other side. In it comes, high one this time, curling to the back post. A stretch and a header by Martinelli, which is nodded away out of play by Marcus Rashford for a throw-in to Arsenal. So Izzy, in amongst all of this, we've got Lenny Yoro, this 19-year-old French under-23 international who stepped into the action here. They spent a lot of money on him during the summer from Lille, upwards almost £60 million if all of the various clauses come into play, and he's had to wait until now into December because of the fractured metatarsal to play for the first time.
Yeah, it's another opportunity for Ruben Amorim to have another look at a player who's now available. De Ligt has gone into that centre of the back three where Maguire was, and Yoro, like you say, John, has come into this right-hand centre-back position, so he'll be dealing with a lot of the channel runs that Declan Rice and Martinelli have been doing on this left-hand side. Yep,
very, very highly rated, as he would be with Manchester United spending all of that money on him. And Rashford and Xerxes both on the field. The throw-in for Arsenal is cleared away up towards the halfway line. Amad Diallo is winning a throw-in just in front of us, almost exactly on the halfway line. Mikel Arteta, I can see the rain, the dampness gleaming on the shoulders of his black jacket, collar turned up. Ruben Amorim 1-0 down, he's made his changes. Here's Højlund through the middle. Diallo now is onto this. Diallo, quick, sharp, playing it through for Xerxes, and Declan Rice there suddenly appears, as he does so brilliantly, to snuff out the danger.
Superb again from Declan Rice, just sniffing out the danger, tracking the runners. I have never seen Declan Rice shirk the responsibility of tracking a runner. He is exceptional, one of the best in the world at it. Cleans it up, gets the applause from the fans.
And now we've got Martinelli as Ugarte goes down under the challenge. The ball bounces out of play. Mikel Arteta appealing for that. It is given as a throw-in to Manchester United, who go back to Onana. Manchester United so far in the very, very early days, what you might call the honeymoon period, and Ruben Amorim unbeaten thus far, but attacking now as the ball's played forward to Højlund. Højlund sprinting out towards the left-hand side where it comes out, bounces out of play off Saliba for a throw-in to Manchester United. No Gabriel, no Calafiori tonight. You would think as the game would continue that Manchester United would at some stage increase the pressure on this back line for Arsenal, which has Timber, Saliba, Kiwior and Zinchenko, Partey, Odegaard and Rice in midfield, Saka and Martinelli and Havertz the front line, David Raya in goal, yet to make a change, Mikel Arteta, whereas Ruben Amorim has already made 4 of his permitted substitutions. 25 minutes to go. What's the latest on Aberdeen Celtic with you, Kenny Crawford?
74 minutes gone, John. Aberdeen 0, Celtic 0, but the Aberdeen goalkeeper Ross Doon just made an absolutely brilliant save, diving to his right to keep out Adam Mida's header. Aberdeen 0, Celtic 0.
Latest scores in League One. In League One, Birmingham 2, Stockport 0, Peterborough 0, Burton 1, bottom of the table, Burton winning at Peterborough. Also into added time, it's Shrewsbury 1, Blackpool 2. Shrewsbury were winning 1-0. Also League 2, Bromley 2, Gillingham 1 and Fleetwood 2, Doncaster Rovers 4. In fact, it's finished at St Andrews with you, Sani Rudravajala.
Birmingham 2, Stockport 0. Alfie May's first half. Birmingham City are 1 point off second. Both pushed in the second half, but £15 million Jay Stanfield was denied by Ben Hinchliffe, who works as a part-time lorry driver when County were in the National League North. That kind of sums up the difference here. Birmingham City 2, Stockport County 0.
Tricky haulage for Zinchenko here as Amad Diallo went round him in the full-back area, and Zinchenko tripped him right on the edge of the box, really. Yellow card for Zinchenko, free kick for Manchester United.
Yeah, Zinchenko just nicked of possession, pickpocketed by Amad Diallo, who starts to dribble to enter into the box. Zinchenko, poor play from him, but intelligent in the way that he made the foul outside the box.
However, that's what Manchester United want.
Well, there we go. Bruno Fernandes, you'd think it would favour a lefty to in-swing, but they're doing the opposite of what Arsenal are doing. They're going for the outswinger.
It's the outswinger. Arsenal love the in-swinger with the corners. Anyway, it is Bruno Fernandes. Tense moments here, 1-0 to Arsenal. Bruno Fernandes plays it in. Header from De Ligt. Flying save from Raya. diving to his left. He was backing away. De Ligt at the back post, got as much power on it as he could, and diving to his left, Raya was able to shove it away.
Yeah, it's a powerful header from De Ligt, because he doesn't have much time to attack the ball. It's a standing jump, and he generates enough power that has forced that very acrobatic save from David Raya. It's a big save from the Arsenal goalkeeper.
Arsenal continue to lead by 1-0. And after the draw, that I would imagine, depending on what their connectivity is like, I imagine most of the Arsenal supporters inside the Emirates will be aware of the fact that Liverpool have dropped points tonight. So Liverpool, a 9-point lead coming into this, currently on 35. Arsenal, with this scoreline, would move to 28 points. Long way to go, as we just have a little stoppage because Diallo is just down on his haunches there. Not sure what happened there, but it's a throw-in. He's okay, and Bruno Fernandes plays it back into the back line. So Manchester United now with Onana in goal, but this three-man back line of Yoro, De Ligt and Mazraoui, then Amad Diallo on the right, Diogo Dalot on the left, Ugarte and Fernandes, and then Xerxes, Rashford and Højlund. Ball bounces behind for a goal kick for Manchester United. And Zinchenko on a yellow card in this situation, having played relatively little football this season. I wonder whether Mikel Arteta might think about that, maybe making a change. You wouldn't be surprised, would you?
No, it's a great point by you there, John, because the other thing as well is Manchester United have started to go a little bit more direct. Since they've gone 1-0 down, they've started to look in beyond. They brought Xerxes and Rashford on alongside Højlund to kind of have that presence up top to try and chase down loose balls. But what they're doing is they're playing it to Arsenal's right-hand side, where you've got Saliba and Timber, who are mopping up everything, whereas on the other side, Zinchenko and Kiwior, much less of a threat in terms of the physical presence in behind.
Bruno Fernandes tries to play one of those passes right on the halfway line, looks up, just hits it, drops on the edge of the area looking for Rashford, but Arsenal are able to clear. Now we have news of an opening goal at Pittodrie. Kenny Crawford.
They were close a minute ago, John, and now they've got the goal. Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1. It's Ryo Hatate, the Japan midfielder. It was a ball clipped into the box by Greg Taylor. He took it on his chest, Hatate, and hit it first time into the bottom left-hand corner. And if it stays the same, Celtic will be 7 points clear at the top of the Premiership. Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1.
Big goal that for Celtic from Hatate. Rangers winning 6-0 against Kilmarnock. That'll almost be over. We'll be with Galbraith and Wallace when it is finished. Plenty of mileage in this, though, Izzy, I think. 1-0 to Arsenal.
Yeah, and they've just sliced through Manchester United's press way too easily. Xerxes just coming on, just completely unaware of David Raya rolling it out into the midfield. Arsenal, all of a sudden, they're back into Manchester United's defensive third on the attack, building where they're most comfortable doing that.
Arsenal with it with Zinchenko, and there is going to be a double change. Trossard and Marino are going to come on as the ball is played over the top of Martinelli, but he won't reach that, bounces out of play. I have to confess, Izzy, you said it's a great point about Zinchenko. I wish it had been my point. It was actually producer George Cummins to my left who suggested that that was the case. George, who will be down interviewing Ruben Amorim and Mikel Arteta later. We may well be able to bring you those interviews live during Tony Livesey's programme, by the way, after 10:30, if we don't get them before 10:30. And it's well worth listening out to the interview George did with Mark Gay as well today of Crystal Palace, that was on 5 Live Sport around about 7:15 this evening, after the armband story of the course of the last few days. Right, Arsenal have made those couple of changes. So Marino, who has had an injury, is on. Timber has moved across to left back, so Zinchenko is off.
Yeah, Partey's gone to right back, Timber's come over to left back, and Marino's gone into where Partey was in the centre midfield alongside Declan Rice. There's quite a bit of rubbing out to do on our papers, Jim.
Yes, there is. Trossard now taking over from Martinelli, and here he is, the birthday boy, 30 years old today. Trossard into the penalty area. He's up against Yoro, who does well. I thought he was past him there, but Euro went to ground, stuck out one of his very long legs and was able to get to it and clear it away. That's a big tick for the teenager on his debut as Rice tries a shot from 25 yards, but Fernandez throws himself in front of that and it bounces out of play for a throw on the right.
Yeah, it's an excellent block there from Bruno Fernandes just to deny Declan Rice having that shot from distance. But Trossard, immediate impact, and it was just interesting, just moments before that double substitution from Mikel Arteta, he was turning round to the crowd to try and lift the atmosphere again, because he senses that he needs that second goal.
Yes, he was trying to whip them up. He was giving them the big vamos. It is now full-time at Ibrox. Gavin Wallace.
They've given it the big vamos tonight. 6-0 to Rangers. James Tavernier, Danilo, Hamza Igamani, Vlakar Cherny, and a double from Cyril Dessers mean Rangers now still 11 behind Celtic, but reduced the arrears on Aberdeen by 4. Rangers 6, Kilmarnock 0.
That's because Celtic are winning 1-0 at Pittodrie against Aberdeen. That was an 8 o'clock kickoff at Pittodrie, so it's got still a little way to go. We have got less than 20 minutes to play here. Arsenal have won another corner. Very congested down there in the left-back position. Saka's going to take it from over there through the rain in front of the North Bank stand at the Emirates. Little steps from Saka. High delivery to the back post, and Nana stretching. Headed across, Partey with a header, and then it's deflected in for a second. Saliba! And Arsenal now have a clear lead against Manchester United. I'm not sure he knew too much about it. It was headed across by Partey. I think it pretty much hit him and flown into the net. Arsenal getting the win they needed, and Manchester United facing their first defeat under Ruben Amorim. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 0, and they've scored both goals from corners.
Absolutely fantastic from Arsenal. The ball in from Saka, whipped into the back post area beyond, or what seems to be beyond the players. And Partey at the back post just heads it back across with pace. And like you say, John, he has no idea, Saliba, but he just stands there. It comes off his chest or his back.
It comes off his posterior.
Yes, well, that is the word, his posterior chain, providing that, and he runs off and celebrates like he meant it. Absolutely so. That is a huge goal for Arsenal.
Yeah, for Arsenal, it's a top goal off his bottom. And Arsenal now 2-0 up on Manchester United. Did the double over United last season, and Manchester United have got a lot to do. Oh, they're looking for a possible offside. Might be ruled out. Well, good luck with this one, because it was a really congested 6-yard box. We're waiting for pictures to see if he's going to be in an offside position. And, well, it looks as though the goal has been given. Yep, it has. Well, very tight. And in all honesty, it could be that, well, in fact, Partey was beyond him when he headed it back across the 6-yard box.
Yeah, he was. And the amount of players that were camped up inside that area anyway, it would have been a very fine call if it was offside.
Oh, what a turn from Odegaard! Now through to Havertz! Havertz with a shot that is blocked from a tight angle by the body of Onana. It's out for another corner. Watch out, Manchester United.
Yeah, it's almost like they want corners, not goals from open play, but that for Havertz, for me, has to go in the back of the net. Odegaard again at the heart of it, just feeding him. Havertz's reaction says everything. He gets through on goal, onto his favoured left foot, in beyond Euro. This has to go across the goalkeeper. He tries to be tricky and intricate and go near post, and Arna stands strong, but that has to go across goal from Havertz.
So it's another corner for Arsenal. 2 goals in the second half, both from corners, from Timber and from Saliba. So that is now 22 goals from corners in the Premier League for Arsenal since the start of last season, which is way more than anyone else. And now they might have a chance for another one. Rice with the signal, and it goes underneath the crossbar, and it's punched away by a falling Onana, who was under severe pressure there. Clever though, they put him under pressure without actually being physical on him.
Yeah, it's really, really clever from Arsenal's backroom staff and whoever comes up with these ideas. The positioning of them on the start position is the most fascinating, because here they are again on this second corner, in swinging from Saka. They're all lined up about 5 metres away from the edge of the 6-yard line. There's a lot of space left for them to attack the ball, and it just leaves so much unpredictability of where they're going to deliver, where they're going to run to.
That's Izzy Christiansen with us here on 5 Live tonight. Vibrant atmosphere at the Emirates. 2-0 up on Manchester United. Latest corner. It's headed across goal, narrowly wide. Oh my goodness, from Marino, who found space in there. That was a more conventional corner from Saka, and somehow Marino found space against Mazraoui, wasn't it?
It's the easiest
Headed
one of the
well.
night.
Yeah.
Easiest one of the night. He heads it down, which is the correct thing to do. Back across goal, correct thing to do, but just doesn't find that far corner. But what a delivery again from Bukayo Saka.
So 2-0 it is, and Marino, what an opportunity that was. A third goal there, that would have finished Manchester United off. I don't think there'll be any coming back from that. However, with the power that they've got on the field, Rashford and Højlund and Xerxes, if they're able to put together any sort of pressure, but this is one of the things that you have to admire about this Arsenal performance, is that having got the goal, knowing that they need the win, they've really kept the accelerator pressed down.
And what they've done over Manchester United this evening is they've asserted their authority and dominance and saying, hang on a minute, we're the bigger guys here. We've been challenging for this Premier League title longer than you have of recent years, and they've certainly shown that tonight. They've turned the screw at the right time, and Manchester United have responded with the changes. They're bringing Anthony on now. Interesting to see where he plays, where Ruben Amorim sees him. But Ruben Amorim will be learning a lot about his players in the present moment.
Yeah, that's what they say very often, the managers, isn't it? You learn more in defeat than you do in victory. That will be change number 5, Anthony coming on. It's a good point that way. Where is he going to play? Well, it's a free kick for Arsenal. 15 yards inside the United half. Declan Rice, high swinging delivery. De Ligt is able to get up and twist his head and nod it away. It's a big chance De Ligt had that was saved. And now Trossard is away down the left. In comes the ball, but it's headed away by De Ligt. Then swept forward, back towards the left-hand side, towards Marino. Left-footed cross from him, comes off Yoro, but the offside flag is up against the Arsenal man. So it remains Arsenal 2, Manchester United 0 here on 5 Live, as Anthony will come on for Højlund, who has not really had a chance in the match. Rasmus Højlund comes off and is replaced by Anthony. So we'll see how that changes things for Manchester United.
Yeah.
In fact, Xerxes through the middle, obviously.
That's right, John. Xerxes gone where Højlund was. Anthony's gone just in that little pocket behind him alongside Rashford. Højlund's performance tonight, quick assessment, is hold-up play excellent, runs in behind excellent, doesn't get any service again.
Yeah, that's certainly something that Ruben Amorim will need to address. So 2-0 to Arsenal, home side on the way to victory here. This is on 5 Live. Aston Villa Brentford is on Sports Extra, where, well, I assume Aston Villa are coasting to victory. Sarah Mulkerrins.
It's nervy, John. It's Aston Villa 3, Brentford 1. Damsgaard getting one back in the second half, and Brentford, they're on the ball an awful lot more. Villa just a little bit more sloppy in possession, giving a lot to the visitors. Thiago's just on a moment to go, fired a shot over after a lovely through ball. So the visitors are getting on it more. It's nervy times for Villa, but they do still lead 3-1.
Odegaard on the edge of the Manchester United penalty area. Saka's there as well, and Partey, who's now switched across to right back. Ball forward from Saka is cleared away by Mazraoui, and here's Xerxes, who tripled his Manchester United total of goals with the 2 that he scored against Everton on Sunday. But then Manchester United, it breaks down with Bruno Fernandes, which gets an extra big cheer from the Arsenal supporters. We've got, 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes to go for Arsenal to see this through, and cheers now. The Olays start as Partey strokes a pass down the right wing for Saka. No flag yet. Saka takes it into the area, slips it across, comes off the defender Yoro, sliding back into his own 6-yard area. No flag. And with that touch, it sends it wide of the goal and behind for another corner to Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal just getting Saka in behind. A beautifully sort of angled pass into his path as he carries on his run on that right. He looks to fizz it across goal. Trossard on this opposite left-hand side. He just needs to make up the ground. legs to chest, knees to chest if you like, at the back post against Ahmad. He looks to fire it across, and Yoro could have gone in his own net. That
it could. It rolled wide, but it's another corner. They couldn't get another one from a corner, could they? A hat-trick of goals from corners. Saka waiting to take this. The psychology of this is fascinating. You can hear the crowd. Saka into the near post, but that's a poor delivery. We'll give him that one though, headed away by Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, probability as well, the amount of corners he's taken tonight.
That was corner number 11, I think it was, that Arsenal have had to Manchester United's 0.
Yeah.
Full times in the 7:45s. Dundee did win 4-1 against Motherwell. Birmingham 2, Stockport 0, as we heard. Here's Trossard into the area. Lovely footwork. In comes the challenge. Odegaard with a chance. That is blocked by Mazraoui. Arsenal really pressing for a third here, rather than a sense of Manchester United getting back into this. And in the end, there's a free kick on the edge of the penalty area for Manchester United to take. It did finish Peterborough 0, Burton 1. So with the full-time score is Shrewsbury 1, Blackpool 2. That is Burton off the bottom of League 1. And in League 2, final scores: Bromley 2, Gillingham 1, and Fleetwood 2, Doncaster Rovers 4. And there is more Premier League commentary on 5 Live and Sports Extra tomorrow night, by the way. 2 more games. We brought you all 10 of them in some shape or form commentary this midweek. Tomorrow at 7:30 on Sports Extra, Fulham against Brighton. 8:15 it's Bournemouth against Tottenham, and Manchester United being mocked as Diallo can't latch onto this ball down the right wing, and it's out of play for a throw into Arsenal.
Yeah, we assess the impact of Manchester United substitutes, and Rashford, that's the second time he's come on, and you know that he gave away a really cheap corner, and then he's just looked to find Ahmed, and he's fizzed it out of play, and it's given the fans something to cheer about. But in the form he's in, Rashford, you would have thought he would have had a little bit more about him since coming on the pitch. And he's a quality player, we all know what he's capable of, but to keep that momentum going with his performances, he hasn't really got in the game so far.
Highlights of all of these matches on Match of the Day tonight after the news, and you'll be able to watch it anytime on iPlayer. It's on BBC One tonight. There'll be a bumper 5 Live Football Daily podcast in the morning from BBC Sounds, and we'll try and bring you a reaction as well, if not before 10:30, then on Tony Livesey's new programme after 10:30 tonight. Manchester United coming forward, Rashford playing it back into a deep lying position for Mazraoui. Bruno Fernandes, low ball into Anthony. Xerxes on the turn, looking to shoot, and the referee's brought it back for the free kick.
Yeah, he was sharp to blow the whistle there, the referee. Yeah, and Xerxes actually ended up evading the pressure of Kivior, and there was a look like he was about to let fly with a shot, but that's actually come from Marcus Rashford, by the way, over on that left-hand side, linking up, being intricate with the ball. It's an unfamiliar position for him that he's in right now, so granted, give him a bit of slack, but good position here. Bruno Fernandes over the ball on the edge of the Arsenal box.
Yeah, it was Marino with the challenge on Anthony that won the free kick, so it's not over yet. Just over 5 minutes to play here at a rather wet Emirates. Rain is pouring down now from the North London skies. Bruno Fernandes looks as though he's probably the candidate to take it. It could be Rashford. Anthony's there as well. I think he'd be the outsider in the 3. Bruno Fernandes giving all of the body language that suggests he will take it. Arsenal have got a man lying down behind the wall as well, just in case he goes low. So 2-0 to Arsenal. Anthony runs over it. Here's Bruno Fernandes, who slips it to Anthony, left side of the area, shoots, saved by Raya, and then it deflects back to the Arsenal goalkeeper, straight back into his hands, which is exactly what they wanted off Kivior, and the Arsenal goalkeeper walks to the edge of his area, bouncing the ball. I think Celtic have won it at Aberdeen with you, Kenny Crawford, yes?
Yeah, John, full-time Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1. Celtic had to grind it out, and Rio Hitati's 78th minute strike was enough. A fine shot from 12 yards. It's put Celtic 7 points clear of Aberdeen with a game in hand. The Dons now just 4 points ahead of third place Rangers. Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1.
So 1-0 to Celtic, big win that. Pittodrie will be deflated after that scoreline, as Anthony was robbed by Odegaard, but Arsenal were unable to take advantage of that. Here is Partey, Thomas Partey. And I think as well for Arsenal tonight to lose Gabriel, such a big part of everything that they do, and Calafiori out injured again as well. You know, if they're able to see this through, get a clean sheet as well in the circumstances, you know, that's win-win, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge, and I think Kiwior's done a brilliant job. I think Jurrien Timber's been excellent, really solid, and I think that stat we just chucked out earlier, John, around Manchester United not having any corners tells you a lot about how Manchester United have attacked this evening. I think, like I said in the first half, 2/3 of their game has been pretty good, but the final third has really lacked a connection and an authority around testing that Arsenal makeshift back line.
Manchester United facing their first defeat since Erik ten Hag's final match in charge. That was in London. That was the last time they were in London, the 2-1 defeat at West Ham, as Onana left it to the very last moment. Kai Havertz came in with a challenge, and the referee, I'm not sure how much the contact was, but Onana, if there was contact, it was minimal, but Onana has certainly...
There's no need for that at all from Onana, unless there is contact, which, OK, not seen a replay yet, but your team's losing 2-0. Like, if Havertz does catch you, just get on with it. Just watching it here now, Havertz goes and put pressure on the goalkeeper. Oh my gosh, the contact is minimal, if anything at all. Strikers are going to press you, and Onana goes down, disrupts the flow of play. You're trying to get back in the game.
2-0 to Arsenal. Yeah, from 10:30, Tony Livesey's new show will have all of the news. It'll be all over the political story in France tonight, so that's from 10:30. Here comes Xerxes over the halfway line, but Trossard actually comes in and wins the ball back from the big Dutch international. And Arsenal now back in possession inside their own area, inside their own half rather. Declan Rice, that's a party over there.
Just watching Amorim, he's got a lot of energy. He's just pushing his players to just keep pressing.
Long pass though from Kiwior. This is for Trossard to take down. Yoro trying to get there with him. Trossard comes one side of him, then back to the left, shoots, and then De Ligt is able to put his body in the way of the shot from Trossard, and it's out for corner number 12.
There we go. And Amorim just really disappointed with the lack of pressure put on the Arsenal back four in the build-up, because that's actually what's created the space in behind, the disconnect. Odegaard's coming off.
So with less than a minute of the 90 to play and big challenges to come, Sunday's match for Arsenal is at Fulham. That's our 2 o'clock commentary on Sunday afternoon before the big London derby between Tottenham and Chelsea at 4:30. Both of those matches on 5 Live. But it's still relatively early since he's come back from that injury, so that they're taking extra care of him. And Jorginho, Georgie as they call him, is getting the captain's armband and coming on for Odegaard.
Yeah, rightly so, to give Odegaard a rest. I think, the way he plays, normally he plays with so much energy, and Arteta just withdrawing him, probably certain the job is done now. You don't need him on the pitch.
Here's the next corner for Arsenal, and it goes, a double deflection, head to head inside the 6-yard area. It's almost a surprise that didn't end up flying into the back of the Manchester United net, but it might even have gone Arsenal before it deflected away.
It was an Onana who actually made a save without knowing about it, because I think it might have come off Saliba, and it looked to be a goal, and Onana just jumps and ends up saving it, and that's why it happened in quick succession, and they managed to get the pressure away, Manchester United.
Well, Saliba's scored his first goal of the season here tonight, so Timber's first goal for Arsenal and Saliba's first goal of the season. So Gabriel, that big threat, he's not here tonight. Instead, 2 of the other defenders scored, and I think it was a treble deflection, wasn't it?
You're right, and Timber was involved again.
Yeah, Partey was there as well, and Saliba and Timber, and somehow it didn't rattle into the back of the net. And Manchester United were able to keep it at 2-0 in added time now. 4 minutes of added time at the end of this match, but Arsenal now are very close to, well, what a hard-fought win it's been against, new Manchester United under Ruben Amorim, who's right down on his haunches now, looking down at the ground. I think he knows his first defeat is just a couple of minutes away. Manchester United winning the ball back on the edge of their own penalty area, flick from Xerxes, but it doesn't reach Rashford, and Arsenal have got it back. They've got a lot to do to make up ground on Liverpool. We'll have more on what sounded like a real thriller tonight at St James's Park. Newcastle United 3, Liverpool 3. More on that coming right up, and don't miss that on Match of the Day tonight. With this scoreline, both Chelsea and Arsenal inching a little closer to Liverpool.
That's right. We've spoken a lot tonight about Arsenal, obviously, because we're here, but Chelsea are just silently rolling along, aren't they?
They're the stalking horses.
They are. They're like a shadow, but they are right in it now. See Cole Palmer's interview, playing down the title hopes. he
played down everything.
Yeah, he does, apart from chips or chippy chips. We know how he feels about them.
Play them up. In his own inimitable way. I was actually talking to Mark Scott, who was the Match of the Day commentator, who interviewed Cole Palmer, so I was consoling him. He's not the easiest interviewee. Great lad, super positive, brilliant footballer, not the best interviewee. Here's Jorginho playing the ball forward to Saka, but Ugarte is able to win possession back for Manchester United. Empty red seats, rather faded red seats now at the Emirates Stadium, are appearing all around the ground. 8:15 kickoff. People have probably got to get to bed, to be honest, tonight with an 8:15 kickoff, so people have left early. As Bruno Fernandes swings one out to the right-hand side to Amad Diallo. People might be listening to us in bed, is he? Here's Amad Diallo, takes it back out into the full-back area. And then Anthony behind him. Here's Yoro tapping it forward towards Ugarte, but then the offside flag is up, and it's a free kick to Arsenal, and they're a little closer to that clean sheet, which used to be one of the great strengths, wasn't it, of Arsenal? The old back four, the old George Graham that featured in the full Monty, which was actually the subject of the first floodlit fact of the day, which was on Tony Livesey's new late-night programme last night that I successfully picked out, that Arsenal featured in that film, as opposed to Tony's other suggestions, which were Confessions of a Window Cleaner and Carry On Emmanuel. So it was a fairly straightforward choice for me, but came up trump, so that's the new home of Fact of the Day. And here at the home of Arsenal, what a good win for them tonight. Mikel Arteta turns and comes across. There's a little embrace between Ruben Amorim, who in his fourth match as the Manchester United manager tastes defeat for the first time. But there's no shame in losing to this Arsenal team.
There certainly isn't. It's an Arsenal team that have got a massive 3 points on a school night here. Like you said, John, it is late, but the Arsenal fans will be going home delighted with that, especially with what's happening above them in the league table, dropping points tonight at Liverpool over there at Newcastle. But Ruben Amorim was vocal around they would need to weather the storm, and tonight was certainly part of not a big storm, but a small storm, and a small reminder of Arsenal's authority in this league.
Yeah, tonight the first goal, both goals coming from corners. Jurriën Timber, his first goal for the club, and the other goal for Arsenal tonight being scored by the central defender, Saliba.
John Murray, perfect timing with the Saliba solo.
You enjoy that?
We'll get lots more from John and Izzy very shortly, and of course there'll be lots in the Football Daily podcast. It's been a huge night in the Premier League, maybe a significant night in the Premier League as well, even though it is only early December. We're going to get through as much reaction as we can between now and 10:30 when Tony Livesey takes over on 5 Live. We'll get reaction to what was an incredible match at St James's Park very shortly. But because that finished in a draw between Newcastle and Liverpool, the significance of that knocks on to Arsenal's win against Manchester United. Izzy Christiansen and John Murray are with us. John, just sum up the story of the game at the Emirates.
Yeah, a tight tussle. You know, Manchester United again showing signs of their growing confidence. After all, they came into this match on a 7-match unbeaten run, and you know, they had a zip and a confidence about them. However, Arsenal restricted them to barely anything in terms of attempts on goal. There was a Dalot effort in the first half across the face of the penalty area. De Ligt had an opportunity in the second half that was saved by Raya. But it's the story of Arsenal's success, this, because corner after corner rained in on the Manchester United defence. I think they had 12 in the end. They scored from 2 of them, both by defenders, so no Gabriel tonight out injured. Instead, Jurriën Timber and William Saliba stepped up as the goal scorers. And you know, no one can cope with their corners, it appears. And certainly Manchester United couldn't tonight. And that makes it for them 22 goals from corners in the Premier League for Arsenal now since the start of last season, which is way more than anyone else. So 2-0 winners, good winners. They'll be very pleased with this.
We will come on to the story of the set pieces and their success for Arsenal in a second. But just, Izzy, an overall picture of the significance of Arsenal moving to within 7 points of Liverpool and just continuing that momentum that they feel like they're building.
Yeah, and it's come at a time where, to me, there's no coincidence with Martin Odegaard back in the side. He is the metronome to this Arsenal team. He keeps things ticking, the intensity he sets, and he has certainly set the tone again. They've recognised that this is their moment. Obviously, with Manchester City, you know, they're slipping away, or they have gone on an anomaly of a poor run. And Arsenal have recognised that this is their moment, and what's happening above them with Liverpool dropping points tonight, you could certainly feel that was filtering its way into the stadium, and they could smell blood with Manchester United, especially in the second half. But it's a wonderful performance, authoritative. They didn't really create too much in open play, Arsenal, but like John said, those set pieces, and he said we're going to detail, but they are a real problem, challenging a team who are under new management, under new coaching, new systems, new ideas, and that includes set pieces. They really put them to the test tonight, and Manchester United struggled.
But it's so true on Odegaard, because there were questions being asked about Arsenal, weren't there, when they went down to those defeats at Newcastle, losing at Bournemouth, you know, the setbacks with the red cards. But if you remember, when he'd been out for 12 matches, you know, a significant chunk of the season, if you remember, he might have been listening, he came on, Odegaard, when he made his return right at the end of their defeat at Inter in the Champions League. But then after that, from the very next match, the game at Stamford Bridge, which finished in a 1-1 draw, you know, I remember thinking, you know, suddenly they've changed. This is much more like them. And since then, since that 1-1 draw, this is now 4 wins in a row for Arsenal in all competitions, and they've won 3 in a row in the Premier League for the first time this season.
Full-time whistle has gone at Villa Park. Sarah Mulcairns.
It's ended. Aston Villa 3, Brentford 1. The winless run of 8 has ended. 3 goals in the first half got them over the line. The first from Morgan Rogers, edge of the D. The second, Ollie Watkins from the spot. And then Matty Cash added their third, tight angle at the back post. Brentford were better after the break. Damsgaard scored just outside the 6-yard box. That was their first shot on target. But Brentford's woes on the road continue, but it's back to winning ways for Villa. 3-1 it ended.
There'll be more reaction to that in the Football Daily podcast. Probably not before we hand over to Tony at 10:30. It might just be a little bit close for us, but in Tony Livesey's show they'll have lots more Premier League reaction as well. On Arsenal and those set pieces, Izzy, they are so effective. That's 22 goals from corners. That's more than any other side in the Premier League since the start of last season. The 2 players with the most assists from set plays in this time, Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka. This is working so brilliantly for them. What is it? Is it about the variety? Is it about the way they execute them? Is it about the quality of the players who are involved? What do you think?
There's a lot to it, Charlie. There's the setup, it's where you stand, but for me, it's always about the delivery, the corner and the setup and all the work you put into where you position yourself inside the box, who puts pressure on the keeper, who doesn't, who's blocking runs for others, who's standing still, who's attacking the ball, who's locking the box, who's coming round the back, who's getting across the front post. None of that works unless the delivery is on point. And I think noticing it tonight live is different. You can see how accurate they are, how much time they take in terms of setting up properly, getting themselves ready to attack the set piece. It's like a collective clockwork action. It's the delivery happens, the movement happens, and they seem to be so effective from. And every single set piece they took tonight from a corner went underneath the bar, literally dropped onto Onana, apart from that one at the back post, which I think Jurrien Timber ended up scoring from. But the delivery has to be it, and the in-swinging delivery, I personally, massive fan of an in-swinger, as long as it's got pace on it, because it doesn't actually matter who scores. It just matters that the ball goes in the back of the net, whether it comes off someone's backside, someone's shoulder, whether it's an own goal. And what Arsenal have done is they've clearly taken a lot of time, and any player will tell you, I'm one of those. Set pieces is boring to do on the training pitch, but you get everyone's buy-in, you get the collective sort of effort involved, and you start to generate this sort of enthusiasm around it and go, hang on a minute, this is a real part of the way that we play football, and we're going to score from there. And what's it done tonight? It's got them the 3 points.
And they could have scored more from the corners. Remember the header that Marino had, which was probably the best chance from any of them, and also the one that came off Xerxes' head and was cleared off the line by Ugarte next to the post.
Exactly.
Well, and the other question that I was going to put to you, Izzy, was that if you described a team who were defensively solid and excellent at set pieces, people would have an image in their head of what that performance looked like, but that would be doing Arsenal a disservice, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. It's just part of their game, you know, the way that they've recognised that in order to be this sort of bulletproof team that they are, they have to be excellent in every single department of the game, in and out of possession, in the transitions. Set pieces is a massive part of the game which often gets neglected, and that's why we've seen in more modern football, we're now seeing specific coaches come into football clubs to be designated the role of wide free kick coach, set piece coach, throwing coach. We've seen it sounds crazy, but this is why they do it. And what Arsenal are doing, it's effective, but ignore all that. The way they play football, it's a joy to watch. And Bukayo Saka, even Trossard when he came on with so much energy, that is how you impact a game. And the build-up play, you know, with Rice and Partey and Odegaard, when he gets in and around those areas and he starts to work his magic, they've just got so much strength in every department of the pitch.
Yeah, that transfer of Nikola Jova, the set piece coach from Brentford to Arsenal, that proved to be one of the more significant ones. What about Manchester United, Izzy? It's the first defeat under Ruben Amorim. He's brand new to the job. He's already warned that the storm was coming. This is going to be a bumpy ride for Manchester United and their supporters. But how did they look to you in the game?
Two-thirds of the build-up phase from the goalkeeper into the midfield, I thought first half specifically was excellent. You could really see clean ideas of how they want to play. I think Ruben Amorim would have been happy with that. Final third, not much going on. I thought Rasmus Højlund was quite isolated at times. Didn't create any sort of clear-cut chances where they've got one of their 10s in the first half, who was Mason Mount and Garnacho, in beyond to then go and be creative. But that's not the end of the world. It's going to come. It's going to happen. You can't do everything all at once. And obviously it makes sense to start at the back. Out of possession, I thought they looked good in the first half. Second half, a little bit more exposed on the transition when Arsenal started to attack quicker and go a little bit more direct. And that certainly put Lenny Yoro, who came on, you know, under a little bit of pressure. De Ligt was under quite a lot of pressure at times. So I think all in all, it was a sort of it's difficult to rate their performance. They were closer in the first half to Arsenal. Second half, Arsenal showed their quality.
I think it'll be interesting to see it, if there is more from Mason Mount to come from the position that he played today, which, as we said during the first half of the commentary, you know, is a position where he was so effective and contributed so much in his time with Chelsea, i.e. just off to the right of a central striker. And there were promising signs in the first half, but that sort of faded away.
Yeah, he did. He was close to Rasmus Højlund at times. I thought he looked sharp in the opening 15 minutes, and like you say, John, it's gonna start happening. But what was interesting about the second half from Manchester United's perspective was when the substitutes came on, I noticed Ruben Amorim down here in the technical area in front of us, he was really trying to push them to press. And because they weren't getting enough pressure on Arsenal's back four in the build-up phases and Declan Rice, Arsenal were actually being able to play through them way easier than they did in the first half. Now, granted, state of the game changes, there's that to bear in mind. But Xerxes, Rashford, they looked a little bit slow to react, and that comes from learning your roles. And Xerxes and I think Rashford in that central number 10 area where he came on, there's still a little bit to learn in that. But this is what Amorim wants. He wants high intense pressure for 90 minutes because it's integral to this system working. So, there were some positive signs, but overall it was an authoritative performance from Arsenal.
An authoritative performance from Arsenal, and Amorim has said this. He said this from the first game in charge of Manchester United. The players still look, and it sounds like that's what you're describing here, Izzy, as though the Manchester United players are still thinking. They're still taking that split second to think about what Amorim requires from them.
That's right. You sometimes doubt yourself especially when you're the front line of pressure and you're the one setting the press. You call it triggers. You go on press. You have to expect and learn and be confident that the players behind you are coming with you. And what actually isn't good is hesitation. It's either all or nothing on the press, because if you go with hesitation, you're then picked off much easier. And this is top elite level footballers, at this level of the Premier League. And actually, I said this the other day, players want pressure because pressure then makes them play. And the worst thing you can do is go half and half. And I think in the second half, Manchester United started sort of, going at 50% in the press, and that they ended up getting picked off by Arsenal. So good game plan from Arteta. Set pieces dominant, but I think overall on the balance of play, it really showed Arsenal's authority, and they're starting to find their groove.
Yeah, and as we started off by saying that they're in third place, they're 7 points behind Liverpool. They have all that momentum behind them, and this will feel like more than that, won't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think, Chelsea, we said it in commentary, Chelsea are silently rolling along, and Arsenal have got to stay with the pack. They really do. And definitely this opportunity that nobody expected to happen with Manchester City, going on that, I know they won this evening against Nottingham Forest, but they're now way off it. And everyone else has got to capitalise on this. And Arsenal is a team that has been so close for a few years now. And they have to see this situation as an opportunity to act quickly and just keep winning. And they're starting to look like they're finding form at a good time.
So the gap is 7 points, because although it looked like Liverpool had fought back to take all 3 points at St James's Park, they came from behind to lead 3-2 in order to do that.